So, dann kommen wir jetzt zur Line-Up der Haar Disciples. Zuerst auf der Bank mit der Nummer 6 Titus von Kapp. Mit der Nummer 10 Jan Tomek. Und mit der Nummer 71 Bernd Radovic. Dann die Starting Line-Up der Haar Disciples mit der Nummer 25 Second Baseman Richie Klein. Mit der Nummer 37 Shortstop Nate Thomas. Mit der Nummer 27 am First Base Christoph Ziegler. Mit der Nummer 34 Catcher William Thor. Mit der Nummer 9 Third Baseman Ruben Manriquez. Starting Pitcher heute für dieses Spiel Lukas Steinlein. Mit der Nummer 72 Simon Lechner im Centerfield. Mit der Nummer 48 Dennis Wallace im Right Field und mit der Nummer 22 David Wallace im Left Field. Und natürlich der Coach und Manager Christopher und Philipp Haupt. Dann haben wir natürlich auch noch, last but not least, unsere Umpire Patrick Meister, Daniel Dibacco und Stefan Hempfling.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Haar Disciples Baseball. My name is Tim Collins, and I am joined today by Mr. Andreas Thies, where we are going to witness the beginning of yet another new era in Bundesliga baseball playoff history, where they've reset the format again. And this is the beginning of the top 4 round, and it will be the 5th meeting this year between these two teams, the München-Haar Disciples and the Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg. Hey, Andreas, how you doing?
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me. I'm feeling fine. To you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and the weather when we got here this morning looked like there was never going to be ever rain ever again ever in the history of the world. It was so hot and sunny, and then for about a half an hour it got dark and a thunderstorm passed by just to the south, and I freaked out for a minute that all my equipment might get destroyed, and then boom, it's gone, and now the sun is out again and it is hot again, and these two teams are ready to play ball. But already I heard a few people, muttering comments under their breaths, along the lines of, today's not a bad day to be at the Isar.
It won't be a bad day being at the Isar. But I think we were very lucky to have the thunderstorm pass by. Because in the, when you look out the outfield, it looks very dark indeed.
Yeah, but that's the weather that has already passed us. And yeah, you can see in the outfield camera the dark clouds, but those are clouds that are already past us, and from what I can tell, there's blue skies behind us.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, and these two teams getting set to meet for the 5th time this year. The Haar Disciples come in with a record of 20-8. They matched their club record last year, and they actually finished in 2nd place, 1 game ahead of the Buchbinder Legionäre, who came in with a record of 19 wins and 9 losses. However, the head-to-head matchup did not go the way of the Disciples. They lost 3 out of 4, and the news is also not great from Haar Disciples land, as the team parted ways with both Mike Click and Darren Fisher. So the Disciples are not going to have a very deep bench, not a very deep pitching staff. Luke Steinlein will be starting today against Mike Bolsenbrook for the Legionnaire, and so we shall see what will happen here in the top 4 round.
Who will be starting tomorrow for the Haar Disciples?
Jan Tomek will pitch tomorrow. And the Disciples are going to take the field, and they're going to do so with the following defensive alignment. Luke Steinlein, as I mentioned, is on the mound, pitching with catcher Will Thorpe. Ruben Manriquez, congratulations to him. He now has a 9-day-old son named Orion Manriquez, dancing up among the stars, as he told me. So he's an extremely proud new father, and he's playing 3rd base today. And Nate Sean Thomas will be playing shortstop. Richard Klein, who also recently just got married, so a whole bunch of family news going on in Haar Disciples land. So congratulations to Richie. He's playing 2nd base. Chris Ziegler is playing 1st base. David Wallace is playing left field. Simon Lechner is playing center field, and Dennis Wallace is playing right field. The lineup that the Buchbinder Legionäre are going to send up against Luke Steinlein looks like this. Lucas Jan, the 2nd baseman, leads off. Matt Vance in right field has 5 home runs on the year. He is batting second. Pascal Amon, who has returned from his time in the minor leagues in the U.S., he is going to play center field and bat third. Eric Harms, who had the game-winning home run in the All-Star game a couple weeks ago, bats fourth. He's playing left field. Mitch Stefan, of course, no stranger to the Disciples. He is playing first base and batting fifth. David Grimes, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Nino Sakaza, playing third base, bats seventh. Alexander Schmidt, a young, talented shortstop, he is batting eighth. And Elias von Garson, the catcher, is going to bat ninth. The umpires for today's ball game behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Patrick Meister on the first base side, Dan DiBacco, and on the third base side, Stefan Hempfling. This ball game, of course, is präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD, as well as Starcar Autovermietung, die günstig gelbe Autovermietung, Gemeindewerk Haar, wir sind näher. Everybody loves to hear me say that, I know. And everybody's favorite, Kreissparkasse, München, Starnberg, Ebersberg. And also, thanks to the help from baseball jobs overseas, Luke Steinlein has thrown his final warm-up pitches. Will Thorpe tosses the ball across the infield, where it's received by Richard Klein, who flips it to Nate Thomas, back to Manriquez, and we are ready to begin here. And I'd like to welcome all of the folks watching from wherever you may be. I see that we've got Tweak Coffee watching from Ulm. Schöne Grüße aus Ulm. Ich hoffe, dass das Wetter dort auch so passt. Andreas, du kannst dich freuen. Wir werden auch ein deutsches Inning machen heute.
I really look forward to that.
So Andreas is doing me a favor by helping out today. So we are ready to go. Luke Steinlein against Lucas Jan. And Steinlein working from the stretch. The first pitch is low, ball one. Lucas Jan hitting at 265 on the year. One ball and no strikes to count to him. Left-handed hitting, second baseman. And that pitch just missed low, 2-0. Steinlein, I'll give you his numbers. He's only pitched 14 2/3 innings this year. He's allowed 12 hits, 4 earned runs, 15 strikeouts. That's good, but the number that's not good is 14 walks. So basically 2 base runners per inning. But when he's stretched out and working more regularly, he tends to get into a groove, although here he falls behind 3 balls and no strikes.
We had some very close games during the season between Regensburg and Haar, haven't we?
Yes, the last one was won by Matt Vance's walk-off home run against Mike Click. That was in, I believe, the 11th inning. There's a 4-pitch walk. This game also, of course, being simulcast on meinsportradio.de. Andreas, you know a thing or two about that.
I know a thing about that, yeah. Working for meinsportradio.de, and we will have, during the week, we will have our baseball recap, our baseball Bundesliga recap for you folks in German.
That's right. Then you can listen to me speak German. It's great. Actually, you can also listen to me speak German tomorrow night on DAZN if you're so inclined. Yankees and Royals. I will be calling that game with the one and only Günther Zapf. So I'll be researching my grammar beforehand. Luke Steinlein to Matt Vance now, runner on first base, Lucas Jan. Short lead, and the pitch. There's a strike. Vance was taking all the way. Jan, by the way, very odd for leadoff hitter, but he has exactly 1 stolen base attempt this year, and he failed in that attempt. 0 for 1. Not going here. The next pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He hasn't got the best lead or the most lead ever.
Yeah,
so
he's only taken a few steps off, being held on by Ziegler there, as we can see in the first base cam. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Vance. And that curve is outside, and Steinlein falls behind 2-1, and he turns around. You know, Steinlein is a battler out there. He's going to do everything he can to find that groove. So far, in the first 7 pitches or so, he has thrown exactly 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Infield back looking for 2. The pitch just missed outside. Steinlein thought he hit the outside corner. Let's take another look at that one on the center field cam. This is the 2-1 pitch that he just threw. You see Thorpe set up outside. And it was probably a little bit outside. Sometimes a pitcher can mentally have to battle if they don't get a close call early in a game, and you start thinking, oh, I'm going to really have to work for this. That one is a strike. This time Vance didn't think so. He was taking a step towards first. And
that was clear, and that looked close too. Looked a little bit low, I think.
Well, a full count. We'll see if Jan takes off now. It is a hot day here. There is a swirling wind. In case you're wondering why the center field camera is wobbling up and down, I don't even have the rain cover on it, which usually makes it worse. There goes the runner. Pitches low, ball 4. And so 2 walks to start the ball game. This is a Legionnaire offense. You know, they're hitting 273 as a team, and the Disciples are only hitting 268. So from that metric, they are relatively similar. However, the Legionnaire have drawn 139 walks compared to 107 by the Disciples. And they've also hit for a lot more power. They have 11 home runs and 63 doubles. The Disciples have 49 doubles and 8 home runs. And when you combine a little bit of pop with extra base runners like walks, that leads to a lot more run production. And so now the hitter is Pascal Amon. Amon has only played in 4 games. He is 3 for 17. He's got a double and a home run among his 3 hits, however. Recently spent time in the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. Left-hand hitter with power, and he takes a ball down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Steinlein struggling early here to find the strike zone. Runners lead first and second. There's nobody out. And that one is a strike. It looks to me like Regensburg is definitely up there looking to take a strike until Steinlein proves he can.
Yeah, they're very patient right now.
And that's the right way to do it. You got to force the pitcher to establish the strike zone early in the game. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's outside, 2-1. I mean, the last game that these 2 teams played was about a month ago. There was a long pause. There was the All-Star break, and then there was another 2-week break because of Honkball Week Harlem, which involved the national team. So there might be a lot of rust out there, not just for Steinlein, but this ball is popped up, foul, out of play. I believe Thorpe gives it a look. Oh, it blows back, and he makes the catch. Well, that ball was going to be way out of play, but that strong gale that we mentioned, which is blowing out, blew that ball back into the ballpark, and Thorpe staying with it. That is a tough play, and he made it.
That's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, that was a very important first out. And now Eric Harms will step up to the plate. Harms hitting at 284. He has 3 homers, 29 hits on 102 at-bats. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast that he had the game-winning home run in the All-Star game. 1 out now. Steinlein could get out of this with a double play ball. There's a pretty big hole on the left side, however, as Thomas is shaded up the middle from the shortstop position, and Harms looks at a good curveball, and that one's in there for strike.
Double play would be huge right now for Lucas Steinlein.
Yeah, Harms is a guy, he takes a very big swing. He's got that hitch in his swing. He drops his hands as the ball comes in. That's a power generating tool. 0-1. And a fastball. Strike 2. And Steinlein maybe a little bit energized from that nice play from Will Thorpe.
The catcher should help the pitcher in every possible way, and I think Will Thorpe helped him a lot right now with his tough catch.
Yeah, it's 0-2. That one's inside, 1-2. A good catcher is almost like having another coach on the field with you. And, you know, Thorpe definitely has the trust of the pitchers and everybody else on the team. He's sort of been the heartbeat of this team the last couple of years in so many ways, leading not only on the field with his catching and game calling ability, but his hitting. Fastball on the outside corner, got him looking. And that was a good pitch from Steinlein, a little fastball that tailed back over the outer edge of the plate. And now 2 down, and Mitch Stefan, as we take another look at this pitch from Steinlein to Eric Harms. Actually, that was the curveball earlier in the at-bat, but that was a quality pitch that Steinlein through. So somebody asked a question in the chat, why is Pascal Ammann not with the Dodgers right now? It's because the Dodgers released him. And so he is free to come back to Germany and play baseball. And that he has done. Mitch Stefan now up at the plate.
Mitch Stefan really looks familiar here around Haar, but not in this dress.
That pitch is a strike. Well, Mitch had a great day his first game back against the Disciples. He had, I think, 3 or 4 hits. Overall, he's hitting .250. He does not have a home run this year, which is unusual for him.
I'm not really used right now to seeing Mitch Stefan in a Legionnaire uniform.
And he went around too far. Strike 2, so Steinlein
Still
after.
looks strange.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of ex-disciples. Jose Palacios. Yeah. Also, if you go back far enough, Johannes Jung, who was on the roster today for the Legionnaire, he an ehemalige disciple. Although that was back before, I think that was 2013, 2012, somewhere in there. No score. We're in the top of the first 2 outs. Steinlein walked the first 2 hitters, but then a pop-up and a strikeout. Now he's ahead of Mitch Stefan, no balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. That is high and outside, 1-2. Another pretty good crowd here in Haar. Everybody gets to sit in the shade. The players have to suffer in the sunshine.
Yesterday the summer holiday started here in Bayern, Bavaria.
Yep.
So everyone is gone.
Everybody in my apartment building was in flip-flops with Schwimmreifen. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Steinlein comes back to finish off the inning without allowing any damage. Boy, it started off pretty shaky for him, but he gets through it unscathed. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. And we go to the bottom of the first inning here in Haar. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD.
Fußballturnier oder Familienausflug? V-Klasse? Vito? Sprinter als Fußballturnier oder Familienausflug? V-Klasse? Vito? Sprinter als Mehrsitzer? Egal was du vorhast bei uns, passen sie alle rein. Dein Mietwagen zum Discounterpreis.
On the mound and pitching for the Buchbinder Legionäre is the tall right-hander from the Netherlands, no stranger, of course, around these parts, and his name is Mike Bolsenbroek. And the rest of the defensive alignment for the Legionnaire looks like this. Elias van Garsen behind the plate and catching. Nino Sakaza is at third. Alex Schmidt is at short. Lucas Jan playing second base. Mitch Stefan playing first. And the outfield from left to right, Eric Harms, Pascal Ammann, and Matt Vance. The batting lineup for the Haar Disciples looks like this. Richard Klein is leading off. Nate Sean Thomas is batting second. Chris Ziegler batting third. Will Thorpe bats cleanup. Ruben Manriquez, as I mentioned, a new father as of 9 days ago. A very proud man he is. He came in, the first thing he said to me was to make sure to announce to everyone on the broadcast that he's a proud new father. So I'm doing him a solid there on that department. So Luke Steinlein will bat after him. And then Simon Lechner, Dennis Wallace, and David Wallace. So there's no score. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Richard Klein steps up. Klein at 241. He has 20 hits in 83 at-bats. 6 of his hits are doubles, and he also has a home run. So he has been productive with his 20 hits. Former Buchbinder Legionnaire, of course. We won 4 or 5 championships with them. And the first pitch from Bolsenbroek is a strike. Nothing surprising from that angle of things. Mike Bolsenbroek in 11 games, 62 innings, ERA of 1.74. He's real good. And the pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Although the Disciples beat him earlier this year for only the second time in recent memory. They beat him last year and this year. And I think not for several years before that. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Bolsenbroek has been a member of the national team of the Netherlands. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic. Pitched in the European Championships. He's done everything, and he strikes out Richard Klein to start the ball game. Looked like a fastball away.
Ja, damit leider ein Strikeout, damit aus Nummer 1.
And that will bring up Nate Thomas.
Jetzt am Schlag Mitte Nummer 37.
The first time I saw Bosenbroek pitching was at the 2015 European Championships.
Yeah, in Regensburg, the 2014, you mean?
2014.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw him.
Nate Thomas now steps up to the plate. No score, bottom of the first. First pitch is low. Thomas at 296. He does have 5 doubles and a triple. He's also drawn 18 walks. That's second on the team. There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Against Bosenbroek, though, you don't figure to get very many walks. In fact, in those 62 innings, he has only walked 7 players. So there's a foul on a fastball, and so far he's coming after the hitters with the hard stuff. And Thomas late, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's amazing, despite the fact he's this tall, he has got no control issues at all. I never saw him really losing control about his pitches, his locations.
Pitch just missed inside Thomas 2-2. You're right, because a lot of times when a pitcher with such long arms and legs, you know, think early Randy Johnson. It took Randy Johnson about 6 years in the major leagues before he was anything more than an average pitcher, and then he became elite. But everybody always, as there's a called strike, that was a slider, called strike 3, and Thomas is down for the second out, and second consecutive strikeout for Mr. Bosenbroek. But like, you're right, to have such a long wingspan and really repeat the motion exactly every time. I mean, it's a testament to how good of a pitcher he is and what an athlete you have to be able to do that. As Chris Ziegler steps up, Ziegler hitting at 299. And he gets a first pitch curve that hits the corner, and it's 0-1. Ziegler's a guy that has hit well against Bosenbroek in the past. I don't have exact numbers, but he's homered off him a couple of times. 0-1. Just missed outside, 1-1. There's no score. We're in the bottom of the first between Regensburg and Haar. Day 1 of the top 4. A broken bat roller slowly out to the shortstop Schmidt, who fields and throws across in time to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 1 inning of play, there's no score here in Haar. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen FSD. Welcome back to the top of the second inning. And wie gesprochen, wir werden jetzt den zweiten Inning auf Deutsch machen. Freust du dich, Andreas?
Ich freue mich sehr.
Alright, ersten Pitch von Luke Steinlein. Knapp verpasst die Außenkante. Ball Nummer 1 für David Grimes.
Ist auch gutes Training für dich, dass du morgen auf The Zone das kommentieren musst.
Ja, genau. So, David Grimes, Nino Sakaza, Alex Schmidt. 6, 7, 8 in die Schlagreihenfolge. Das ist ein Foulball. Nach rechts. Ein Ball, ein Strike jetzt, der Count.
Darf ich dann auch gleich noch eine Promotion anbringen für unsere Just Baseball Trade Deadline Live-Sendung?
Oh, Live-Sendung,
Ja.
oder? Also wir haben schon, die größten Trades sind schon passiert, oder? Manny Machado, Zach Britton.
Das macht mich auch ein bisschen nervös, aber wir haben am Dienstag um 20 Uhr, ab 20 Uhr live auf meinsportradio.de haben wir die große Trade Deadline Show zur MLB Trade Deadline.
Ein halber Schwung. Groundball zur Steinlein, der flippt an die erste Base. Chris Ziegler ist da zum ersten Aus.
Und dort werden wir um 22 Uhr ist ja die Trade Deadline und werden wir bis 22:30 Uhr auf Sendung bleiben und alle noch kleineren Trades dann abwickeln.
Jetzt Nino Sakaza am Schlag. So Luke Steinlein, total was anderes seit dem zweiten oder dritten Schlagmann des Spiels. Der hat die ersten 2 Schlagmänner fast gar keinen Strike geworfen. Und seit dann Pop-Up, Strikeout, Strikeout und dann ein sehr schwacher Ground Ball. Und Nino Sakaza jetzt am Schlag.
Seit Will Thorpe ihm mit dem ersten Out wirklich sehr geholfen hat, als er diesen unglaublich toughen Catch hatte hier am Zaun. Seitdem ist Luke Steinlein wirklich gut dabei.
Ja, vielleicht ein psychischer Hügel ist der rübergekommen. Ein Strike, das ist ein Ground Ball, rechte Seite, foul. An First Base vorbei. Strike Nummer 2 für Nino Sakaza. Sakaza. Batting Durchschnitt 2,53. 19 Hits und 75 At-Bats. Hat er 3 Doubles und ein Triple dazu, keine Home Runs. Er spielt heute Third Base. 0-2 Pitch. Fastball, knapp.
Oh, der war sehr knapp, ja.
Ein Ball, 2 Strikes, ein Out. Und zu der oberen Hälfte des zweiten Innings. 0-0. Fly Ball, Left Center Field. Und gefangen von David Wallace.
Das war ein starker Catcher, musste sehr, sehr viel Raum überbrücken. Centerfield wäre auch noch Platz gewesen.
Ja, da kommt der David angerannt.
Ja, er hat sehr weit weg laufen müssen von links nach Centerfield. Flyball vom Ende des Schlägers von David Wallace. Er rollt, aber er hat den Ball sicher in seinen Handschuh gehalten. Und jetzt Alex Schmidt am Schlag. So, 2 super defensive Spielzüge für die Hard
Wollte ich gerade
Disciples.
sagen, ein paar Highlight-Plays für dein Video nachher.
Ja, ja. Und jetzt Alex Schmidt, habe ich schon erwähnt. Der Shortstop kommt am Schlag, Rechtshand-Schlagmann. Steinlein, erster Pitch. Bunt angezeigt, aber ein Strike sowieso auf Kniehöhe. Infield bleibt zurück. Pop-up, rechte Seite, der bleibt im Spielfeld. Foul Territory vielleicht. Chris Ziegler, das war doch ein Fair Ball, hat er den Ball gefangen. Und ein sehr, sehr schnelles Inning für Luke Steinlein. Wir gehen jetzt zum zweiten Inning. Sie schauen jetzt Hard Disciples Baseball presented from the health company MSD. I have to do that part in English since we did the rest of the...
Ah, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. Wir sind wieder dabei in München, die Hälfte des zweiten Innings. Tim Collins und Andreas Thies auf perfekt Deutsch für Sie. Und wir haben jetzt 0:0 Spielstand zwischen Regensburg und Haar. Hier am ersten Tag des Top 4 Zwischenrunde in der Baseball-Bundesliga.
Ja, jetzt am Schlag mit der Nummer.
Und für die Haar Disciples ist wird William Thorpe, Ruben Manriquez und Lucas Steinlein 4, 5, 6 im Schlagreihenfolge. Thorpe genau 33 Hits und 99 At-Bats. Er hat auch dazu 3 Home Runs und Bolsenbrooks First Pitch. Das ist ein Ball. Thorpe hat jetzt Bunt angezeigt. Bolsenbrook wollte, dass es einen Strike gegeben wird. Thorpe auch mit 14 Base on Balls im Saison. Das ist a line drive, base hit ins Left Field. Sehr hart geschlagener Ball.
Will Thorpe macht in der frühen Phase dieses Spiels alles. Die defensive Aktion, jetzt der erste Hit für die Disciples.
Über den Shortstop drüber geschlagen, Double Runner am ersten Base.
Und so, Leadoff Base Runner für die Disciples, das ist das erste Hit des Spiels. Und Ruben Manriquez, der neue Vater. Manriquez, 15 Hits und 47 At-Bats. Der hat auch ein paar Walk-Off-Hits bekommen dieses Jahr. Erste Pitch, knapp verpasst, Ball Nummer 1. Ja, Ruben Manriquez, als wir ihn letztes Mal gesehen hat, ein Walk-Off-Single gegen R.J. Hively von Heidenheim geschlagen, 1:0. Breaking Ball, Ground Ball. Und Bolsenbrook macht das Play an erster Base. Thorpe rückt vor auf der zweiten Base. Und jetzt ein Aus. Hast du Lust, ein bisschen Play-by-Play zu machen, Andreas?
Ja, ich weiß nicht.
Du kannst es überlegen, du hast noch ein bisschen Zeit.
Und jetzt am Schlag Luke Steinlein.
So, jetzt Luke Steinlein. Und das ist ein Strike. Erster Pitch. Bolsenbrook hat ersten 2 Schlagmänner für Strikeout. Ground Ball durch die Mitte. Schmidt. Gut gestoppt. Und Werf an ersten Base. Out. That was a heck of a play by Alex Schmidt. Sorry, I got to switch to English for that. Der müsste wirklich weit hinter der Second Base Bag den Ball fielden und jetzt Philip Howard rated. Und Luke Steinlein auch.
Das war wirklich ein sehr, sehr knappes Play, was dort an der First Base gespielt worden ist.
Ja, schauen wir nochmal das Replay an.
Ich glaube, es wurde auch moniert, dass die Base verlassen worden ist, aber nee.
Schaut nicht so aus. Von meiner Sicht, es schaut ja, sehr knapp aus. Aber die anderen 3 Umpires werden zusammenkommen und ins Gespräch kommen jetzt. Aber ich kann es mir nicht vorstellen, dass es overturned ist. Ja. Und es ist nicht so. So, Bolsenbrook jetzt bei 2 Außen. Simon Lechner am Schlag. Läuft auf dritten Base. Das ist Will Thorpe. Aber das hat einen Run.
Ja, das hat definitiv einen Run gespart, beziehungsweise den Regensburg Legionären einen Run gespart. Das war ein sehr, sehr gutes Play.
Ja.
Und das wäre auch in sehr vielen Fällen ein Hit gewesen.
Ja. So, Simon Lechner. Und das ist ein Strike, erster Pitch. Ja, die Disciples, die müssen in solchen Situationen erfolgreich sein. Das ist ein Pop-up, Foul Territory. Near the fence, and Von Garson makes the catch. And the inning is over. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 1 very good play from the shortstop Alex Schmidt. And ich wechsle wieder auf Englisch. Wir gehen jetzt zum dritten Inning. Das ist Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD.
25, der Catcher Elias von
Welcome back to the top of the third inning. No score here in Haar. Tim Collins and Andreas Thies with you. And Elias von Garson, the number 9 hitter, steps up to start things. And then after that, it'll be Lucas Jan and Matt Vance against Luke Steinlein, who's thrown 31 pitches so far. And his first pitch of the third inning is a strike. He walked the first 2 batters of the ball game, fell behind Pascal Amon 2-1, and then Will Thorpe made a great catch on a foul pop-up. And then, since then, Steinlein has retired the next 5 hitters. There's a fastball low, 1-1. Von Garson this year is hitting at 185, 10 for 54. He's played in 19 games. One of his 10 hits is a double. Curve, and that was a beauty on the corner.
Beauty of a pitch, yeah.
Now, Steinlein has that knuckle curve that he'll just drop over the outside corner.
It's not 12 to 6, it's 3 to 9.
Yeah. That's still a significant amount of time.
It is.
Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, 6 hours either way. If he's going across time zones, then you know he's got a real good curveball. No score. We're in the third inning. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the third strikeout for Steinlein. He went to the high fastball.
He looks like a totally different pitcher in contrast to the first inning.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first like 10 pitches he threw. And then he's found his release point. And now the second time through the lineup begins with Lucas Jan. Jan was one of the walk earners his first time. Steinlein from the stretch, even though there's nobody on. This is a ground ball back through the middle. Thomas to his left, gloves it, finds the handle, but he has no play. That'll be an infield base hit for Lucas Jan. It was almost a replica of the play that Schmidt made last inning, but the ball was hit a little bit harder.
We've seen some similar plays. In the second inning, the catch here at the fence was similar to that from Will Thorpe. We've now seen this infield hit.
Yeah,
like that in the second inning.
Yeah, well, I think Lucas Jan, a little bit of a faster runner. Than Steinlein, and meanwhile, a little bit of a mound visit between Thorpe and Steinlein with Jan on first base. I mentioned Jan simply has not stolen many bases. He's only 0 for 1 in that department. There you see him on first. So the hitter now, Matt Vance. Vance, his first time, also walked. And Jan not going. Curve on the first pitch, and there's a beauty. Strike. We have no score. We're in the top of the third inning. There's 1 out. Runner on first base is Lucas Jan. And Matt Vance with an 0-1 count as Steinlein comes set. And the pitch fouled away, and the count now 0-2. That was the fastball. So second time through the order, he started Vance with a curveball. Vance also walked his first time. Steinlein wants a new ball. So here's a question for you, Andreas.
Mm-hmm.
Sind die Baseballbegriffe im offiziellen Regelwerk eingedeutscht?
Nee, ich glaube nicht. I don't think so.
That's from David in the chat. 0-2 on Matt Vance. Fastball outside. What does eingedeutscht mean? Like literally translated, or
literally translated?
I mean, there is. I mean, you can get the rule book in German.
Okay.
That I know, but or I don't know about like all the. I mean, things like ball, strike, bases. Those are just the same.
How do you translate it? Ah,
yeah,
the
so
rule. I just got the rule
we've
book.
been handed a German rule book. The pitch is outside. And
No.
the count 2-2.
We've translated forfeit a game.
Translated forfeit of a game.
Ja, aberkanntes Spiel.
Okay, aberkanntes.
Or caught game is ein abgebrochenes Spiel.
Yeah, well that, yeah.
But besides that, no. These
2-2 on Matt Vance. Runner leading off first, not going. The pitch low, and now the count full.
They are not translated. Bases loaded, base hit, base coach, bat, batter, runner, backstop. Even backstop.
Yeah, well, I mean, Schläger. Läufer. I mean, we say things like that, but we don't say. I mean, I guess you could say batter, runner.
You can translate doubleheader into Doppelspieltag.
Doppelspieltag. Full count. Runner not going. The pitch is lined to the gap in left center field, and that's a base hit, and it splits the outfield and goes all the way to the fence. Lucas Jan is hustling around third. He's going to come around and score, and Matt Vance has doubled home a run. It is 1-0 Regensburg.
I think it would have been close, but I think it would have been in triple.
He definitely had a chance to go for a triple, but you don't want to make the. Well, I guess, you know, they do say the first or third out of the inning at third base is not worth it. But the throw was coming towards third anyway. They knew that there was no chance that they would get Jan at home. Take another look at this. So a 3-2 pitch. The runner wasn't going, and he still scored anyway. And now the hitter is Pascal Amon. So Matt Vance with an RBI double gives Regensburg a 1-0 lead. He's on second base with one out, and the pitch to Amon is high. 1 ball and no strikes. So 2 hits in a row. That little infield base hit. And then a ringing double. And Regensburg with a 1-0 lead. We are in the third. There's 1 out. And Amon at the plate. He's got a 1 ball, no strike count. Steinlein comes set. And here it comes. It's low, 2-0.
Steinlein takes his time. I think he just has to settle down after these 2 hits.
Yeah, he was cruising for a period of about 6 batters, and now he's got to be more careful, of course, with the middle of the lineup. That's the part you're generally going to be a little bit more careful with. The pitch is low now, 3-0. And Steinlein now turns around, and he is kicking at the dirt on the mound. Thorpe was ready to throw the ball back to him. And Steinlein did not look comfortable after that last pitch. Three balls and no strikes. You think Amon might be swinging here?
No.
You're right. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Although it didn't look like it was an automatic take from his body language. Yeah. That pitch was at the knees in the outside corner. Now Helgard is asking, how would we translate the word strike? Schlag, right? To hit or strike.
You can't translate it with Schlag.
Yeah, you can't, because that's a different meaning.
Yeah.
There's a little pop fly into shallow center field, and that ball is going to drop in front of Simon Lechner. Matt Vance had to wait to make sure it would land and not be caught, so he only goes to third base. But the Legionnaire have first and third with 1 out, and Eric Harms, the cleanup hitter, coming up. There was a little pop-up off the end of the bat of Amon. He did not hit it very well. He was fooled on the pitch. That was actually a pretty bad 3-1 swing. He swung at a pitch down and away, probably a changeup. And now Chris Howard is out to have a chat with Luke Steinlein.
Who's the next batter?
The next hitter is Eric Harms, who struck out looking his first time.
Pitch to contact, induce a double play. Get out of this inning.
Yeah. The meeting between Chris Howard and Luke Steinlein is over with. And Eric Harms, who struck out looking his first time, up there with runners on first and third. There's 1 out. A run is already in. 3 consecutive hits. Only one of those 3 hits was hit hard, however. That was Matt Vance's double into the left center field gap. Wallace, Lechner, and Wallace in the outfield now playing straight away. They had been swung way around. First pitch, curveball to Harms, and that's in for a strike. Now, this is one of those situations where We're in the third inning. You know the Disciples do not have a lot of pitching depth. They have Nate Thomas and Titus von Kopf. There's a curve. This ball tapped slowly left side. Manriquez comes to first. That's his only play. A run scores as Vance comes home. That's an RBI ground out. And a 2-0 lead for the Legionnaire. Moving to second on the play is Amon. So there are now 2 outs in the inning. That was a big chopper. Manriquez really had no other play.
Yep. There was no chance he gets it on how played the play.
And he didn't have much of a chance to go to second base either. So now Mitch Stefan steps up to the plate. Legionnaire leading 2-0. Runner on second base is Pascal Amon. And the pitch. A high pop-up off the end of the bat into short right. Dennis Wallace is drifting in. He's got the sunglasses down, and he one-hands it as he backpedals a little bit. But that is the third out of the inning. Feinlein gives up 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 left on base. And at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it's 2-0 Regensburg. And this is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It is 2-0 Regensburg, and Dennis Wallace will step up to the plate, 8-9-1. Dennis Wallace, his brother David, and then the top of the order, Richard Klein. And the first pitch from Bolsenbrook is taken for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Bolsenbrook, 2 strikeouts and a hit in the first 2 innings. And he's now got himself a 2-0 lead. Fastball at the knees on the outside corner, strike 1. Dennis Wallace, who's hitting at 228, but that has got to feel good compared to where he was maybe a few months ago. He was under 100. He has improved a lot as the season has gone on. Fly ball, foul off to the right, fouling out of play. That was a breaking ball. He has a home run to his credit in the Bundesliga. One ball and 2 strikes to him. He's 21 hits in 92 at-bats. Right-hand hitter. The pitch upstairs in the count. 2-2. Bolsenbrook from the stretch position deals, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. That one looked like he reached back for a little extra.
I really like the attitude of Bolsenbrook pitching. Everything looks calm, composed. He has his pitches. I really, really like his attitude on the mound.
Yeah, he's an imposing figure if you're standing in the box. David Wallace now up to the plate. And the first pitch, a strike to him. David is hitting at 244, 20 hits and 82 at-bats. So he needs 1 hit to have the same number of hits as his brother. There's a ground ball, pulled foul, 0-2. Bolsenbrook constantly working from ahead of the count.
Yep.
He does not nibble like Steinlein. I mean, his fastball's a little harder, has more movement. So I guess he doesn't have to nibble as much, but, you know, he just comes right at the hitters. That one was an off-speed pitch taken up high. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. That looked like an off-speed pitch. And Wallace way out in front. So Helgard asking a question about 3 home run games. Mitch Nilsson had 3 home runs, I guess, in the game yesterday. I feel like Gary Owens did it earlier this year, didn't he? Did Gary Owens have a 3-run game?
I think we had one game with 3 home runs. I think it was Gary Owens, yeah.
Or it also could have been Caleb Fenimore in Doran. I know a few years ago, Florian Gutze, that's a bunt, and that ball hit him when he was in fair territory, and Richard Klein is out. He bunted the ball right in front of the plate, and then he ran into it while he was out of the box. And Patrick Meister made the call right away. Philip Howard arguing, but that's pretty clear, actually, even on the replay. You see it hits him in the leg as he's running out of the box.
We saw it from here.
And so that goes as a put out to the catcher, 2 unassisted. The inning is very quickly over with. And we will go to the 4th inning. It is 2-0 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Welcome back to the 4th inning. It is 2-0 Regensburg, and Luke Steinlein back on the mound. First pitch, swing and a miss from David Grimes. It'll be Grimes, Sakaza, and Schmidt. 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. Legionnaire scored 2 runs. Last inning on 3 hits. Fastball is high, runs away, 1 ball, 1 strike. We were talking about 3 homer games. Caleb Fenimore did it also on June 2nd for the Doran Wild Farmers against the, I believe there was Berlin Flamingos. There's a curveball that misses outside, 2-1. I went through and looked at my Baseball Bundesliga podcast notes from all the episodes we've done, Andreas.
There is a Bundesliga podcast here in Germany.
There is. Where can you find it? Pitches up high, 3-1.
On meinsportradio.de.
Yep, also on the Bundesliga homepage.
Yeah, every Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning there's a new one. So it will be next week. Unless
there's no baseball, then.
Unless there's no baseball, yeah, of course.
3-1 the count on David Grimes. And Steinlein's pitch is low, ball 4, leadoff walk. So Grimes goes to first, and that's how the 4th inning begins. This ball game started pretty much right on time at 2, and we're now a few minutes before 3 here in Haar. Right now, Heidenheim and Mainz tied at 6 in the 4th inning.
One inning ago it was 6-2 for Heidenheim.
So Mainz, it seems as though, I mean, they've always seemed to have a strong offensive team, but like Max Bolt having a seemingly down year with the power this year, but maybe those guys have The bats have awakened a little bit in Mainz. There's a swing and a miss from Sakaza. Steinlein issuing his third walk of the ball game. Sakaza the hitter. There's nobody out. Runner on first base is David Grimes. A very short lead being held on by Ziegler. The pitch fouled to the screen. 0-2. Sakaza hit a fly ball his first time, so he's 0 for 1. And I might be confused. Maybe Gary Owens did not have a 3 home run game this year.
We had one.
I'm assuming if Helgard doesn't know about it, that it didn't happen. Helgard, you seem to keep better tabs on that stuff than I do. 0-2 on Sakaza. Grimes on first, not going. The pitch is inside, and Thorpe thinking about throwing down behind him, but he did not. Manriquez is at normal position at third base. The shortstop Thomas is shading Sakaza up the middle. He would love to get a ground ball near the bag and try to turn 2. 1-2 the count. The pitch, curve, big chopper over the mound. Klein fields and throws to first. His throw pulls Ziegler off the bag and everybody's safe. Klein had to wait for the base runner to cross in front of him, and that probably cost him.
Yeah.
See how that's going to be scored, whether it's a hit or an error. Good throw, probably would have had him, and the throw pulled Ziegler off the bag.
I would score it as an error.
And they have scored it as a single, so that's how it goes. That's the 4th hit for the Legionnaire. Now Thorpe again out to have a chat with Steinlein. Well, this is a real mental battle, this ball game. I mentioned before the game, the Disciples, they're without Mike Click, Darren Fisher, both have left the team. And so the task falls to Steinlein.
And they have a game tomorrow.
And there's a game tomorrow. Not to mention 8 more games, 10 more games after that. It's very difficult to start a ball game and know that you have, basically you have to go all 9 innings. And the bunt is shown, the curveball taken in the dirt for a ball, as Alex Schmidt wisely pulled it back. The pitch was down in the dirt. This is a bunting situation for sure, as Manriquez, the third baseman, is at the edge of the grass cutout. Ziegler at first is already on the infield grass, coming way in. Schmidt, a good hitter. He's 0 for 1 now. He squares around again. The pitch, this is bunted, and it goes foul at the third base side. Pounced on by Thorpe, 1-1 the count. Now Manriquez was holding at third. So that means it's Steinlein's job to get over and cover anything on the third base side. Obviously, Schmidt wants to bunt the ball that way. There's nobody out, 2 on. Schmidt again showing bunt. Ziegler walking up, and the pitch taken low. And the count 2-1. But Ziegler was 30 feet away from the batter's box by the time the pitch was delivered.
Nobody was covering second base.
Steinlein is set. Schmidt shows bunt again. The pitch is low. And 3-1. Not missing by too much those last couple of pitches, but they were down and out. So the count 3-1. Let's see if Schmidt will still be bunting. He's not squaring as of yet. He might just be taking. Here it comes. He squares, and he takes ball 4 inside. The bases are loaded with nobody out. That's the 4th walk. Philip Howard is arguing that the count should be 2-2, but I was keeping track of the count in my scorebook, and I had ball 4 for sure on that. So now the umpires are going to get together and talk that over. Philip Howard was saying that the first pitch was called a strike, and then there was a foul ball. I don't think there was a foul ball. Did you see a foul ball, Andreas?
I saw the foul bunt.
Yeah, that's right. That was the one that went up third baseline. But the pitch before that was a ball, I believe. I think Howard thought the first pitch had been called a strike.
I think so too.
But it was ball 4. Wouldn't be the first time people have lost track of the count, though. I mean, and I once saw a baseball game where literally everybody missed a pitch, like everyone. And it was myself included, and I didn't notice it. Like, there was an argument. Coach came out on the field and started arguing that the count, it should be ball 4, and the hitter was still, or the hitter went to first base, and the umpire was like, no, it's only ball 3. And nobody noticed that there was another pitch that had been thrown. And I went back and watched the video later that night, and lo and behold, the manager was right. It should have been ball 4, but the umpire missed it. All the batter missed it, or everybody basically missed it. And Steinlein now is going to toss the ball to the first baseman. This ball game has a weird feel to it, wouldn't you say?
It is, yeah.
There's just a strange vibe in the air.
The first game after 3 weeks of break.
Yeah, everybody's still a little bit groggy, I think.
I think it's a new start for every team. We have some close games around the league. Shall we take a look on that? Right now, when everybody's arguing about strikes and balls right now.
Yeah, well, there was a long conversation between Gronauer and Patrick Meister. And now, are the umpires going to talk about it again? No. Meister is talking to Steinlein and Siegler and gesturing. Well, I don't have the ability to go back and show you the whole at-bat, but those of you that are watching on YouTube, feel free to do that. You can do that. And you can check to see if that first pitch had actually been called a strike or not. I don't think it was. I think that Patrick Meister is correct. And here comes Philip Howard again. And this cat and mouse game will continue.
Grimes was just looking for the video referee. He made that sign we learned at the football championship, world championships with the
right, yeah.
2 square.
Video device.
I don't think we will have Philip Howard much longer
in this game. Normally when he wants to get thrown out, you can tell from the beginning. And there he goes. He's gone. So now he's been thrown out. So now he'll get his money's worth with the argument, and everyone gets quiet so they can listen to what he's saying. We will turn the microphones down for those of you at home. So Philip Howard has been ejected from the ball game.
To quote the famous Don Orsillo, this used to be a family show.
It still is. Oh, that clip that you're referring to is one of the most hilarious things known to mankind. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, go on YouTube and Google Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy laughing in the booth. So Elias von Garson with the bases loaded, and the Disciples. There's nobody out in the inning. It's a 2-0 game. Von Garson struck out his first time. And Steinlein will look in for a sign, and he comes set. And the pitch. That's inside for a ball. So the argument was over the count. And Philip Howard was contesting that the count should be 3-2 and not ball 4.
Philip Howard is now coming over.
And the pitch is lined into right center field. That is a base hit, and that's going to bring home 1 run. And Regensburg now leads 3-0. RBI single for Elias von Garson. As Grimes scores, Sakaza goes to third, Schmidt goes to second, and von Garson is at first. And the hitter now, Top of the order, Lucas Jan. He is 1 for 1 with a walk. Well, the weather is holding up, but there seem to be dark clouds over the Disciples, at least for this game so far. The pitch is outside, ball 1.
Philip Howard just checked with the scorer if he was right.
Well, actually, we could look at that too on Game Changer. I'll check that after this inning ends. Here's the 1-0. Fouled away, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. There's nobody out in the inning. Bases are loaded. A run is in. It is 3-0 Regensburg. Lucas Jan, the hitter, he singled up the middle last inning, came around to score when Vance drilled a ball to the gap. 1-1 the count to him. Here it comes. Swing and a miss on a high fastball, 1-2. Yeah, looking at the at-bat to Schmidt, when you look on Game Changer, the first pitch was a ball, then there was a foul, then there were 3 more balls. Yeah. Should have been ball 4.
I think the pitch count was okay. And I think the referee got
And
it right.
I also was notating it in my scorebook as well, and I had the same thing. So maybe there's a 1-2. There's a drive high in the air to deep right field. Back goes Wallace to the track at the wall, and that ball hits off the net. It's still in play, and it's going to result on runners in second and third. The throw is saved by Manriquez. 2-run score on a double off the bat of Lucas Jan. He thought that ball was gone. In fact, I think a bunch of the base runners thought that ball was gone, and we almost had a traffic jam between third and home. But the Legionnaire now lead 5-0 on a 2-run double off the bat of Lucas Jan. Take a look at the pitch. Down and in, and he really golfed it. And 2 runs came in to score. Remember, the new ground rules are that if the ball hits the top of the net, there's a yellow line, and the ball just has to go over the line to be a home run. And so even though if it hits the net, you have to wait to see what the umpire's signal will be for if it's a home run or not. Ground ball off the bat of Vance, backhanded by Klein. Throw to first is in time. Another run will score. That's Van Garson. And it's 6-0 Regensburg. So Vance gets an RBI, 4-3 on the putout. That's the first out of the inning. Moving to third on the play, Van Garson scored, and Jan goes to third. Excuse me. Sorry, Andreas, you were going to say
some activity in the Disciples dugout right now.
Pascal Amon is now the hitter. Curveball is in for a strike, 0-1. Amon has popped to the catcher and then singled. His single drove home Matt Vance. And the pitch, another curve, and that one is in there for a strike. Going back to, I guess, the play where Philip Howard thought a strike had been called. I mean, there are umpires in the league that sometimes have more subdued strike calls, but Meister is not really one of them. He makes a very clear gesture. Maybe Philip Howard just thought he saw something that happened. Oh, and 2. That one is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Runner on third base, Lucas Jan, infield back looking for an out. They will give away another run here. There's only 1 out. That ball drilled foul down the right field side, still 1-2. I guess Amon broke his bat. He's going to go get a new one. In case you're wondering, Luke Steinlein is getting the start because Jan Tomek will be pitching tomorrow. The Haar Disciples have no more foreign pitchers. Mike Click is gone, Darren Fisher is gone. And so that means the Disciples pitching staff consists of Steinlein, Tomek, a shadow of Kevin Treasel perhaps, if they're lucky, Nate John Thomas, and Titus von Kopp. There's a swing and a miss. That's strike 3. That's the second out of the inning. And
Everybody seems a little bit grumpy today, I think.
Yeah,
even the Legionnaire.
It's one of those games. It's a hot day, and
the dog day.
You know, just the same way that teams will really get up for a game that they think is going to be a fierce competitive battle. I think the opposite can happen when you know the rug has kind of been pulled out from under your competitor. There's a curveball for a strike from Eric Harms. To Eric Harms from Steinlein. Steinlein is a very good pitcher, but he hasn't really pitched all that much this year, and how far you expect him to go in this game. There's another curve, 1-1. On some level, you feel bad for him that it falls into his lap. 1 ball and 1 strike the count on Eric Harms, and the pitch. That's outside. Book on Harms seems to be breaking balls, as Steinlein has thrown lots of breaking balls to Harms and keep them away. He does have power.
It really is a tricky situation for the Disciples. When did they learn that Darren Fisher and
like throw to third and safe as diving back is Sakaza, or Lucas Jan. Looked like he landed on his hand, his right hand. It was a pickoff attempt. And the throw was to the foul side of third. Manriquez couldn't get the tag around, and Lucas Jan definitely safe, but then it looked like he might have rolled on his hand getting back in there. See how Manriquez had to reach across and try to get the ball, and now Jan shaking out his right hand. That's his throwing hand. And he's having a chat with Kai Gronauer. He's taking his helmet off, and he's walking over towards the Disciples' dugout. I think the Disciples are going to give him some ice or some bandage or some kind of treatment that they have over there in the dugout.
So when did they learn that Darren Fisher and Mike Click
Fisher
are
apparently
no longer on the club?
Fisher left yesterday.
Okay.
And Click left a couple of days after the last game he pitched, which was almost a month ago. And, you know, we have to sort of walk on eggshells here, because the one thing you got to remember is the Bundesliga is not a professional league. It's trying to be. And, in certain cases, there are professional players. And I don't know what the details are of the two situations.
We don't have to speculate, but
so,
it really is a tricky situation for the Disciples regarding the rest of the season.
Yeah, they're going to be getting through the rest of the season with hope and faith, I guess. Well, the Hope and Faith Index. I don't know if you've heard of the Hope and Faith Index, but this is it's an actual metric, like how much fans can care about the rest of the team season. So that's how things are. So right now, today is off to. It's a great day for Regensburg so far. We are in the 4th inning. They lead 6-0, although Lucas Jan is going to stay in the game. Looked like he jammed his finger, and I guess he got his finger wrapped up. Try to prevent some swelling. Well, I remember a couple of years ago, Jan suffered a terrible injury here, a leg injury, I believe, a knee injury. This, I think, was in 2015 or 14. So he has not had the best of luck in this ballpark. And even when he hits a ball off the fence with the bases loaded to drive in 2 runs, what happens 2 plays later? He jams his finger trying to dive back into the bag. So the best of times, the worst of times. Anyway, there are 2 outs, runner on third base, and Eric Harms has a 2-ball, 1-strike count. And the pitch from Steinlein is a curve in the dirt, blocked by Thorpe, and that is ball 4 apparently. This time I didn't have the, that's right, I missed the last one where the pickoff throw went to third was a ball.
Everyone seems to be a little bit rusty.
Yeah. Even me.
Even you.
So first and third, Stefan will be the hitter. He's now the 9th man to bat in this inning. 3 walks and 3 hits in the inning. Steinlein has 5 walks on the game. And Stefan up there. And swings and tops one foul up the third base side, strike 1. Stefan is over 2. He struck out and flied out.
Can we blame the lunar eclipse from yesterday?
I saw your photo that you posted, by the way, on Facebook. It was beautiful. Yes, the lunar eclipse. We can just blame everything on the blood red moon.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I think the aurora borealis also was visible in the northern hemisphere a couple of days ago. The pitch, Stefan pops it up, foul ground. Can Manriquez get there? The ball's going to stay in play. Manriquez a long run, and he overran it. And that's strike 2. Well, they put the shift on with Stefan, so that means Manriquez had to run about 125 feet. And then also the wind is a factor, and I think Manriquez misjudged how far the wind was going to blow that ball back towards the field. You count 0-2. Two runners on, first and third with 2 outs. It is 6-0 Regensburg. And Steinlein's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning's over. Well, Steinlein has to look up at a 6-0 score as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. 4 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 left on base. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 6-0 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert vom Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We are back for the bottom of the 4th inning, and what the heck, let's do it in German again. Andreas, was denkst du? Was sagst du dazu?
Ja, lass uns machen.
Okay,
jetzt,
dann Andreas, du darfst jetzt auch Play-by-Play machen.
Alles klar. Nathan Thomas hat im 2. Inning, hatte er Strikeout looking. Ist er ausgewiesen, ist jetzt der nächste Hitter, Mike Bolsenbrook, der nach wie vor wirklich einen hervorragenden Eindruck hier hinterlässt. Mit seinem ersten Wurf. Ersten Ball, 1 Ball, 0 Strikes. Ich bin nicht richtig dran gewöhnt an Play-by-Play.
Ja, ich auch nicht auf Deutsch.
Zweiter Pitch, Strike. Unten in der Zone, in der Strike-Zone. 1 Ball, 1 Strike.
Er hat 2 hintereinander Fastballs von Bolsenbrook.
Jetzt das Ground Ball von Nathan Thomas an die Second Base. Und da ist es das einfacher aus für die Regensburg Legionäre. Nathan Thomas aus an der First Base.
Ja, das war auch die erste Bewegung für Lukas Jahn, seit er seinen Finger verletzt hat.
Und der Wurf sah gut aus von Lukas Jahn.
Es ist kein schlechter Wurf und kein schwieriger Wurf auch von Second Base Position. Jetzt Chris Ziegler am Schlag. Der hat einen Groundball zum Shortstop ersten Mal geschlagen.
(6:0) steht es hier im Bottom of the 4th Inning für die Regensburg Legionäre. Curveball, 1 Strike, 0 Balls, 1 Strike.
Der Ziegler ist der Einzige, der kriegt einen Curveball im ersten Pitch von Bolsenbrook. Die ganzen Lineup.
Zweiter Wurf. Swinging Strike.
Nochmal Curveball.
Nochmal Curveball. 0 Balls, 2 Strikes. Wirklich beeindruckender Auftritt bislang von Mike Bolsenbrook. War er bei der Honkball Week dabei in Haarlem?
Ich weiß es nicht.
Strikeout mit dem dritten Wurf. Das war ein sehr, sehr beeindruckendes At-Bat für Mike Bolsenbrook. Und damit 2 aus. Hier im Bottom of the Fourth Inning. Erstes Spiel dieser Top-4-Serie hier in der Baseball-Bundesliga. Nach einer knapp 4-wöchigen Pause, die wir jetzt hatten. Die Haar Disciples zum ersten Mal haben sie die Vorrunde als Zweiter beendet in der Bundesliga Süd. Die Regensburg Legionäre direkt dahinter. Das ist das 5. Aufeinandertreffen der beiden Mannschaften und wir hatten bislang 4 wirklich fast alle enge Spiele. Es waren fantastische Spiele bislang zwischen den Regensburg Legionären und den Haar Disciples.
Ja, es gab vor allem gutes Pitching von beiden Mannschaften.
Erster Wurf, ein Strike, auch gleich wieder. Und auch hier führt Mike Bolsenbrook wieder im Pitch-Count und kann von da aus eigentlich das alles bestimmen, alles dominieren, was an der Platte passiert. Das wäre, das war das ein Strike hier im Curveball. Der sah wunderbar aus, dieser Pitch.
Manche Pitches sind so, die überlisten auf den Umpire.
Ein Ball, ein Strike. Jetzt gibt es den Flyball ins Outfield. Der schafft die Lücke. Und das müsste das Doppel-Double sein, auf jeden Fall. Für Christoph Ziegler. Er wird gelassen oder er wird stehen gelassen an der Second Base. Und damit ist das erste Double für die Haar Disciples. Der zweite Hit erst in diesem Spiel. Er hat damit genau die Lücke im Outfield gefunden zwischen Left Field und Center Field. Da muss er hin, der Ball.
Ja, 2 Hits und die sind beide von Will Thorpe.
Mit der Nummer 9. Ruben Manriquez.
Ja, Will Thorpe hat bis auf die dritten Base geschafft. Im zweiten Inning, zweites Inning, zweiter Inning, zweite, whatever. Du weißt, was ich meine.
Ja. Ruben Manriquez ist auf jeden Fall jetzt am Schlag. Unser Neuvater, seit 9 Tagen ist der Vater.
Den Namen von seinem Sohn Orion sowie die Sternkonstellation.
Oh.
Wir haben ein bisschen über den Mond geredet.
An der Second Base steht niemand. Trotzdem ist Will Thorpe ein wenig eingeschüchtert gewesen durch die schnelle Drehung von Mike Bolsenbrook.
Ich glaube, er lacht. Guter Pitch.
Ja, ein Ball, ein Strike. Sehr, sehr guter Pitch von Mike Bolsenbrook. Der bislang, wie gesagt, erst 2 Hits zulassen musste. Ein Double, ein Single, beide von Will Thorpe.
Kein einziger Walk.
Genau. Und jetzt der Roundball durch die Mitte ins Infield. Und das ist ein klares Aus an der ersten Base. Ruben Manriquez auch wieder mit dem Groundout, wieder mit dem 6-3 Groundout. Und damit ist das Inning vorbei. Es steht dann weiterhin 6:0 für die Regensburg Legionäre. Gleich kommen wir ins Top of the 5th Inning.
Das ist Our Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert
von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD.
Yeah. Well, we go to the top of the 5th inning here in Haar, and Richard Klein is going to take over. He's got an ERA of 0 this year. He pitched exactly 1 inning. That was against the Heidi Cup of all teams. He pitched the top of the 9th inning in a game that the Disciples were trailing 6-2, and then they came back and won in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And so Richard Klein has a 1-loss record of 1-0 and an ERA of 0 in 1 inning of work. He had never pitched in years since last year. He started a game against Regensburg. Throws around, 60, 65 miles an hour. Apparently he's got a curveball. He's throwing it in the warm-ups right now, so that's cool. Luke Steinlein is in center field. Simon Lechner moved to left field. David Wallace moved to second base. And the aforementioned Richard Klein, pitcher, is on the mound. And so he'll pitch against his former mates. This is the second time he's pitched against Regensburg in his life. He did it last year, too. Did pretty well, as a matter of fact. So let's see if he breaks out that curveball. So David Grimes, who started last inning with a walk, is going to start this inning. Und wir wechseln jetzt nochmal auf Deutsch. Aber ich würde gerne nochmal den Play-by-Play versuchen, weil ich habe was gelernt von dir letzten halbes Inning.
Du hast was gelernt von mir?
Ja, ja.
Sehr gut.
Ich habe viel sowieso gelernt. Pitch is high. Reisegeschwindigkeit zum Beispiel haben wir noch nicht erreicht.
Bei Mike Bosenburg haben wir es
Mike Bosenburg ist immer in Reisegeschwindigkeit. Ich habe ihn fast nie gesehen, außer Reisegeschwindigkeit. Pitch is high. Oder zu hoch für die, die das nicht verstanden haben. Entschuldigung, 2 Balls und kein Strike. Sechs zu 0 führen die Buchbinder Legionäre. Und nochmal zu hoch. 3-0 der Count. So Luke Steinlein, 4 Innings pitched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hits abgegeben. 6 Runs. 5 Walks und 4 Strikeouts. Und jetzt Klein fängt das Inning an, auch mit einem Base on Balls.
Wobei Richard Klein die letzten beiden Würfe gerne als Strikes gesehen hätte. Sie waren seiner Meinung nach in der Strike Zone. Da hat er etwas ungläubig hinterher geschaut.
Die Sonne scheint jetzt sehr stark.
Ja, inzwischen ist es wirklich fantastisches Wetter hier.
Ja, es war nur wirklich diese halbe Stunde oder so gleich am Anfang des Spiels. Nino Sakase, erste Pitch, ein Strike. Sakase, 2 At-Bats, ein Flyout, ein Base-Hit, hat er auch einen Run gescored letztes Inning. Die Legionäre haben 4 Runs gescored letztes Inning. Und Kleins Pitch, Bunt angezeigt. Und wieder zurückgezogen, Ball Nummer 1. Es gibt einen Zuschauer, der denkt, vielleicht soll er Knuckleball lernen, dann kann er auch Pitcher für die Disciples eingesetzt werden. Line Drive, Base Hit durch die Mitte und der Wurf an dritten Base ist zu hoch und Läufer auf ersten und dritten Base für die Buchbinder Legionäre. Diese Line Drive hat fast den Kopf von Richard Klein direkt getroffen. Das war wirklich gefährlich.
Sehr akrobatisch, wie er daran vorbeigekommen ist. An einem Treffer.
Nino Sakase. Ein Line Drive Base Hit. Der ist jetzt 2 Hits in 3 At-Bats und Alex Schmidt. Well, der letzte Inning hat immer Bunt angezeigt und dann den Walk bekommen. Danach wurde Philip Howard vom Spiel verwiesen. A little smoke on the water for y'all. Läufer auf 1 und 3. Ground Ball, linke Seite, Nathan Thomas. Zweiten Base, das ist ein Aus dort, ein Run scored. Ein Forced Play am zweiten Base, das heißt RBI Groundout für Schmidt.
Da hat der Nate das Aus an 2 gemacht. Somit haben wir jetzt ein Aus. Runner am ersten Base. Und am Schlag Elias.
7-0 jetzt von Elias van Garsen. Van Garsen ein Strikeout, ein Base Hit. Auch ein Run batted in. Erst Pitch, Strike.
Richard Klein kann sich von seinem perfekten ERA verabschieden, leider.
Sakase nimmt Anlauf von ersten Base. Groundball, rechte Seite. Und Wallace, Thomas, Stiegler. Und das ist ein 4-6-3 Double Play. Nicht schlecht für Richard Klein. Hat es allerdings sehr schnell gemacht. Und ein Run kommt auf die Plätze für die Legionnaire. 7-0 die führen. Als wir gehen in unter der Hälfte des 5. Innings. This is Hard Disciple Baseball. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD.
Jetzt für uns mit der Nummer 1, Lukas Steinlein.
Luke Steinlein will step up to the plate here in unter der Hälfte des 5. Innings gegen Mike Bolsenbrook. Ersten Pitch. Bisschen weit draußen, Ball Nummer 1 für Steinlein, der ein Groundball zum Shortstop sein ersten Mal geschlagen hat. 7-0 führen die Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg hier im unteren Hälfte des 5. Innings. Mike Bolsenbrook hat das ganze Spiel unter Kontrolle gehabt. Swing and a Miss von Steinlein. Ein Ball, ein Strike. Das ist immer so, wenn wir Bolsenbrook sehen. Der hat wirklich alles in Ordnung. Alles ganz locker. 2 Balls, ein Strike.
Fantastischer Pitcher.
Ja. Deswegen ist der so langfristig ein Mitglied von den Legionnaire. 2-1. Curveball, ein bisschen zu tief und jetzt 3 Balls, ein Strike. Das ist der allererste Mal, dass er bis zum 3 Balls in den Count gekommen ist. Erste 3 Ball Count. Groundball, rechte Seite. Lukas Jahn macht das Play. Erste aus. Und jetzt Simon Lechner, der hat ein Foul Pop-Up zum Catcher geschlagen, sein erstes Mal.
Jetzt im Schlag mit der Nummer 72, Simon Lechner.
Bolsenbrook jetzt bereit, der erste Pitch. Fastball Strike. Es ist so wie Tag und Nacht. Als die Disciples in die Defensive sind lange halbe Innings mit viel tief Pitch Counts und Base Runners überall und Mike Bolsenbrook, zack, Strike 1, zack, Strike 2. Und das ist Strike Nummer 2. Er hat bis jetzt, na, schauen wir mal, wie viele Pitches der Bolsenbrook geworfen hat. Steinlein hat 85 Pitches gehabt. Bolsenbrook 48 Pitches. Wir sind jetzt im 5. Inning.
48 Pitches ist nicht ganz so viel, ne?
Nicht ganz so viel. Ich glaube, Steinlein hat bis 3. Inning so viel geworfen. Ein Ball. Der Pitch war high. Ein Ball, 2 Strikes. Ein Aus. Keiner auf Base. Bleibt am Leben bei dieser Schwung. Das war ein sehr starker Curveball. Und Simon Lechner genau lang genug gewartet, bis er den Schläger mindestens ein bisschen zum Ball gebracht hat. 1-2. Und der Pitch hat verpasst, die Strike Zone ein bisschen tief oder vielleicht knapp drin. 2-2 der Count. Olsenbrook immer sofort nach dem Pitch wieder auf dem Pitchers Mound.
Er hatte auch eine wirklich super Pitching-Geschwindigkeit.
Höhe Flyball Richtung Centerfield. Das ist spielbar für Amon. Und er hat es nicht sehen können. Und er fällt ins Outfield. Simon Lechner steht auf zweiten Base. Das wird ein Flyball-Double sein.
Er hatte während des gesamten Flugs dieses Balles, hatte er nie den Ball wirklich im Blick.
Ja, man könnte sehen, der hat auch am Anfang ganz nach hinten gelaufen und dann nach oben geschaut und nichts mehr. Es ist sehr, sehr hell heute.
Bei bedecktem Himmel wäre das ein Routine-Flyball gewesen, aber so.
Ja. So, Simon Lechner mit einem Geschenk-Double am zweiten Base. Das ist nur der dritte Base-Hit, dritte Base-Runner überhaupt für die Disciples. 2 anderen Hits von Will Thorpe und das ist ein Foulball auf the bat of Dennis Wallace. Dennis Wallace, ein Strikeout sein erstes Mal. Die Legionäre haben schon 3 Komplettmal durch die Schlagreihenfolge gegangen und die Disciples sind jetzt nur beim zweiten Mal. 0-1 und jetzt Swing and a Miss 0-2. Höhe Fastball von Bolsenbrook. No 2 Pitch. Pop-up. Und das ist Foul außerhalb des Spielbegrenzung. Ich versuche so viel Syllables in meine Worte zu benutzen.
Ja. Du machst dich über die deutsche Sprache
das
lustig,
Spielgerät oder? Über das Spielbegrenzung geschlagen zu haben. Oder sowas. Foul out of play. There we go. 0-2. Strike 3. Das ist ein halber Schwung. Er ist durchgeschwungen. Ja.
Ja.
Das war fast ein Replay von dieses mexikanische Umpire Call von letztes. Das war halbherzig geschwungen von Dennis Wallace. Aber Patrick Meister hat das nicht ganz gesehen. Und jetzt Kai Gronauer.
Es haben sich alle nochmal erkundigt, ob er wirklich als Strike gewertet worden ist. Aber der First Base Umpire hat sofort gesagt, dass es ein Strike war.
Ja, ja.
Jetzt am Schlag mit der Nummer 22, David Wallace.
Und jetzt David Wallace.
Der mexikanische Schiedsrichter, den du gerade erwähnt hast. Das war ein sehr, sehr lustiger Vorfall.
Ja.
Vor 1-2 Wochen war das, ne?
Ja. Aber das war auch so ähnlich. Das war ein Schwung, wo man sieht von Körpersprache, dass der Schlagmann gar nicht nach dem Ball schlagen will. Aber es ist trotzdem ein Vollschwung durchgemacht. 1 Ball, no strikes für David Wallace. Und jetzt Time Call. Bolsenbrook übrigens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Strikeouts.
Und der wäre aus diesem Inning auch schon wieder draußen, wenn vorher dieser Fehler nicht passiert wäre im Centerfield. Aber es wurde nicht als Error gewertet, ne? Es wurde nicht als Error gewertet.
Nein. So, normalerweise, wenn ist es ein Sonnenschein.
Ja.
Die geben normalerweise einen Base-Hit dafür. Weil du kannst nicht fangen, was du nicht sehen kannst. Foulball, sehr, sehr später Schwung. 1 Ball, 2 Strikes. Ich schätze mal, dass David Wallace wird nochmal eine höhere Fastball sehen. Ein Ball, 2 Strikes. Oh.
Das war ein hoher Fastball.
Nur ein kleines Stück hat er bekommen davon. Das war ein hoher Fastball, genau. Das war ein bisschen besser Schwung von Wallace. Immer noch ein Ball, 2 Strikes. 2 aus, Lechner am zweiten Base. Höhe Flyball, left field. Harms.
Oh,
Fängt den Ball. Das war ein Korb catch, Willie Mays style.
basket catch.
A basket catch. That's a long fly ball off the bat of David Wallace. Aber egal auf Englisch oder Deutsch, das heißt das Ende des 5. Innings. Wir gehen jetzt zum 6. Inning und die Legionäre führen mit 7:0. Sie schauen Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert vom Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It is 7-0 Regensburg, and Richie Klein, who gave up a run last inning but kept it relatively short at the very least, is going to go to work again against the top of the order, Lucas Jan. First pitch to him is a strike. That one had a little bit of pop on it on the outside corner. Well, the hardest thing about pitching is throwing strikes. It doesn't matter how good your arm is if you don't know where the ball's going, and Richie has shown that he's pretty good at getting it over. That was a curveball, and it dropped low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That was a nice curveball.
Yeah, it had a good downward tilt to it.
That was 6-12. 12-6.
Hey, 8-6. 1-1 the pitch. This ball hit in the air to left field, and Lechner drifting over. He's under it, puts it away. There's 1 away. Position players pitching. Well, we've seen a lot of that in the major leagues. It's becoming more of a trend because teams are realizing that, you know, in this day and age of the unending bullpen, when you're losing 15-2, why not just put the left fielder in to pitch? And then you can still have all your guys. You have your 5th inning guy ready for the next day.
We had the situation with Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs. He wanted to
Threw
pitch
2 pitches, right?
He wanted to pitch for at least 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. And he got his wish with 2 outs in the 9th inning. First pitch is a breaking ball to Vance, and Vance looks out at Richard Klein to be like, "What are you doing?"
Anthony Rizzo begged Joe Madden, "I want to pitch. I really like to pitch." And Joe Madden told him, "If you get a home run, I'll let you pitch."
Foul tip on a check swing, and Matt Vance in the hole 0-2 as Klein reaching back for a little extra. I think he might have hit 75 on that one. No balls and 2 strikes on Matt Vance, and Klein's pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, I watched the highlight of Anthony Rizzo pitching. He threw 2 pitches, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
And got a deep fly ball to center field. Induced a deep fly ball to center field. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. That one hits him. Tried the breaking ball for a 3rd time. And Vance reaches Vance, by the way, that is the 13th time he's been hit by a pitch this year. He's always getting hit.
The
and
Greek god of walks.
Yeah, or hit by pitch, I guess. So he's aboard.
If we look around in the league, we have a really close game in Heidenheim. Heidenheim and Mainz 7-all in top of the 7th inning. And
that was a close game yesterday too, 12-11 for the Heide Cup.
And we really have a close game in Doren.
Swing and a miss by Pascal Amon, strike 1.
Bonn leads 2-1.
That game, I believe, is in a rain delay.
Okay, bottom of the 8th inning. We have also a close game in Berlin. Berlin Flamingos against Bremen Dockers, 6-6, bottom of the 8th. These are the play downs.
That pitch down and in on Amon, who is 1 for 3 today. Now Richie breaking out the breaking ball this inning. You talking about the Heidenheim and Mainz game. I mean, that's a rematch of the 2016 playoffs. There's a pop-up left side, very high. Nate Thomas out in shallow left. He is under it, and he one-hands it.
As you say in German, da lag Schnee drauf.
come down with icicles on it. Da lag Schnee drauf. I'm going to have to remember that one. Da lag Schnee drauf. If anybody watches DAZN tomorrow and you hear me say that, tweet it to me, and I will buy you a beer the next time I see you. There we go. A new contest has been born. Da lag Schnee drauf. I'm writing that in my Hohenlempe. That was the other one we came up with for an EFIS pitch, right? Hohenlempe.
Bogenlampe.
Bogenlampe, sorry.
And Bogenlampen pitch.
Eric Harms now the hitter. And the pitch is low. Yeah, the conversation we had about the EFIS pitch, if you look up EFIS pitch on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of supposed EFIS pitches, but really what they are, they're just pitches where like the pitcher kind of was indecisive and threw a very slow pitch to the plate. That highlight that I sent you, that is a real EFIS pitch where he throws it purposefully about 50 feet up in the air and it drops down. And yeah, those are from the old days. 2-0, the pitch. Line drive up the middle, base hit for Eric Harms into center field. Vance will stop at second base. So Richie has nearly been mauled twice by line drives in this game. This one was a little bit more to his left. Not as scary as the one that was hit last inning by Nino Sakaza. And now Mitch Stefan will step up to the plate with 2 on, runners on first and second. And the Disciples will swing everybody over to the right side against Mitch Stefan as Nate Sean Thomas will stand behind second base. Ruben Manriquez is going to stay at normal position at third, it looks like, because of the runner on second base. They need somebody to cover in case there's a ground ball and they can get a force. But everybody else is swung way over. Second baseman David Wallace is in short right field. He's playing at softball depth. And time is called. So Richard Klein going up against Mitch Stefan. Vance on second, Harms at first. The pitch has a little looper. I don't think that was a breaking ball. I think that was just a let-up pitch, I guess you would call it.
Really nice.
Yeah, it dropped in for a strike. 0-1. Stefan apparently was looking for something else. And the 0-1. That was a curve, and he hit the corner. 0-2. That one, you could see the motion sort of bending backward on that one. He's got good spin on that pitch. Richard Klein saying, hey, don't make fun of me because I'm a position player.
There's his Twitter account. Position players pitching.
Swing and a miss. He struck out Mitch Stefan. And the inning is over on 3 pitches. Let's look at this last pitch. It was a breaking ball down and away, down and in rather. And Stefan went chasing. Perfectly executed pitch from Richard Klein. So, well, Klein might find himself in actual Disciples pitching plans if he keeps this up. We will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 7-0 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Swing and a miss by Richard Klein on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 7-0 Regensburg, and there's a fly ball foul off to the right. 0-2. Mike Bolsenbrook has allowed 3 hits and nothing else. He's allowed a single, a double, and another double, so 2 doubles. One was a fly ball that was lost in the sun. Next pitch, this was lined up the middle, base hit to center field for Richard Klein. Well, an 0-2 pitch, and Richie has himself a leadoff single that will bring up Nate-Sean Thomas. Bolsenbrook at 64 pitches, so still very, very good pitch count for him. Richard Klein is on first base. The new infield alignment in the Legionnaire is Janis Mušik has entered the game for Lucas Jan, but he's going to play third base. Nino Sakaza will now play second base. Nate-Sean Thomas the hitter, and he takes a strike. Thomas has struck out and grounded out. That's the same that Klein had on his scorecard register. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning, 7-0. Regensburg leading Haar. This one has not been close so far. There's a slicer into the Disciples' dugout off of a breaking ball, and the count 0-2. Well, Bolsenbrook was 0-2 on Klein, then he left a fastball up out over the plate where Richie could get to it, and he lined it right over his head into center field. Now he's 0-2 on Thomas. The pitch, that's a fastball high. Klein with a virtually non-existent lead from first base. He's only a step off the bag. The 1-2 slapped very late. That was a rocket, and it hit the net just to the left of the Disciples' dugout. It was also about a foot away from shooting out of the ballpark over into the ticket booth area. It's a good thing it did not. That ball was a screaming liner. The count's still 1-2. Nate Thomas very late on his swings. Richard Klein is on first. There's nobody out. And the 1-2. That's low in the dirt, blocked by Fungarson. The count now even, 2-2. Klein at first, not going to be going anywhere, down by 7. Two and two the count. The pitch, swing and a miss. He got him with a changeup. Thomas way out in front of it. And that is the first out of the inning. Let's take a look at that pitch again as Chris Ziegler will come up to the plate. Watch how this pitch just fades down and away from Nate Thomas. Perfect location, executed brilliantly from Mike Bolsenbrook. That's strikeout number 7 for him. And now Chris Ziegler, who's 0 for 2, will step up to the plate. Klein on first base. Ziegler takes a fastball inside corner, strike 1. And the 0-1. Just missed, maybe a few inches to the left of the same spot. Ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bolsenbrook is set, the 1-1 to Ziegler. A high pop-up, right center field, shallow, a long run, and that ball drops in between Vance, Amon, and Sakaza. That'll be a base hit. And runners on first and second now for Will Thorpe. Well, it was a pop-up. It was high. It had some hang time. But look at where the outfield was positioned. Vance was way over. Sakaza was running out. Amon couldn't get there. It just landed in no man's land, a little Bermuda Triangle. And so now Will Thorpe steps up. Thorpe is 2 for 2 against Bolsenbrook today. So the Disciples trying to make some noise, down by 7 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ziegler at first, Klein at second, and a first pitch curve is in there for strike 1 to William Thorpe. Thorpe singled in the second inning, and he doubled in the 4th inning. And the pitch. That one is pulled foul, 0-2, ground ball down the third base line. Interestingly, the left fielder Eric Harms is way, way off the line. They are almost playing Thorpe, at least in left field, like a right-handed hitter. Center and right are playing him straight away. There's a half swing, and he lines it off foul off to the right. Thorpe, a very quick, short swing. He does not use batting gloves. He chokes up maybe an inch or so on the bat. 0-2, here it comes. Line drive, and it's pulled foul. That was a hanging slider, I think, from Bolsenbrook, as he left that one up over the plate. That hit that he gave up to Richard Klein was on an 0-2 pitch. He had Thomas struck out, and then Ziegler hit a little pop fly that fell in for a single on a 1-1 pitch. Now he's ahead of Thorpe 0-2, but that last pitch was hanging. And now he's ready. 0-2, runners lead first and second, nobody out, one out. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike three, foul tip was caught by Von Garson, and that's the second out of the inning. That looked like it might have been the changeup again, the same pitch that he used to get Thomas, this time to a right-hand hitter. And it was. You see how it just drops down. Von Garson's glove hit the dirt. Now Chris Howard wants to check to see if the ball went into the dirt. Remember, Philip Howard was ejected from the game, so the umpires are now going to check to see if the ball was in the dirt. Looking at the replay, you can see that Von Garson's glove touched the dirt, and that's why some dust kicked up, but doesn't particularly look like the ball hit the ground first. And if it did hit the ground, then it would be just a foul ball, but the call has been upheld. It is a strikeout, and no further argument. And so that will bring up Ruben Manriquez. That's the 8th strikeout for Mike Bolsenbrook. Manriquez 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Bolsenbrook waiting patiently on the mound for Manriquez, and now Manriquez is in there. And he comes set. Runners lead first and second. The pitch. Curve is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Richard Klein led off the inning with a single. He is at second base. Ziegler blooped a single. He's at first. There are 2 down. 1-0 on Manriquez. The pitch. Breaking ball hit slowly on the ground to third. It is grabbed by Mushik, and he touches the bag for an unassisted putout, and that will end the inning. The Disciples get 2 hits, but they do not score a run, and they leave 2 on base. We go to the 7th inning here in Haar. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert vom Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD, 7-0 Regensburg. We are back, and it is the top of the 7th inning here in Haar. 7-0 Regensburg leading. And the first man up for the Legionnaire is David Grimes, and he swings and misses at the Richard Klein offering, 0-1. Klein has now pitched 2 complete innings. He's given up a run on 2 hits. He's walked a batter and hit a batter. He's also struck out 1. That was Mitch Stefan to end last inning. Next pitch is down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's only thrown 28 pitches now.
We talked about it during the inning break. You cannot expect more from a positional player than 2 innings, 1 run. It's now 3rd inning.
Pitches outside, 2-1 right. It's not like he throws bullpens in between games or anything like this. You know, last year he went to Don Freeman. The Disciples had that stretch of games where they had 4 games within 5-day period. There's a foul ball off to the right, 2-2. It was all against Regensburg. And Don Freeman basically went to the team and was like, well, who wants to pitch? And Richie said, I do. And since then, you know, he's had a few appearances here and there. This one is, there's a ground ball to the right side, backhanded by Wallace. He stumbles, recovers, throws to first, and the throw is dug out by Ziegler. But Grimes beat it out anyway.
That was a great play.
Well, let's see if we can see anything on the replay. First, Wallace made a nice play to backhand it. It was a breaking ball, and then he stumbled, and then he had to get up, and he bounced the throw to Ziegler, who picked it nicely, but Dan DeBacco was right there, and safe is the call, so that's a base hit for David Grimes. And that will bring up Nino Sakaza. Sakaza lined a base hit that gave Richard Klein a shave the last time. Pitches a breaking ball low. Runner on first base, nobody out. And the pitch, low inside, 2-0. Grimes on first base. And that's outside, 3-0. Well, this is probably Richard's game to go as long as he can, regardless of what happens. There's a strike as he comes in with the 3-0 and makes it 3-1.
The Disciples won't burn another pitcher.
Well, they don't have any other pitchers to burn.
Not with the outlook of the game tomorrow. They have Nathan Thomas.
There's a line drive to the gap in left center field. That's a base hit, and it's going to go all the way to the warning track. Grimes is going to be waved around third. Nate Sean Thomas, the relay throw, he's going to wisely hold on to it as Grimes scores. It's an RBI double to make it 8-0 in favor of Regensburg. Nino Sakaza, 3 hits today. How about 2 singles and a double with a run batted in? So Sakaza having himself a good day. That ball was, pitch was out away from him. I think it might have been the breaking ball again, and it was. And he went with it, didn't try to do too much. Very good swing. And lined it to the alleyway in left center field. In die Lücke, as you taught me last inning. First pitch to Schmidt is up high, ball 1. Schmidt today has grounded out twice and walked. He scored a run and driven 1 in. Sakaza off second base. The pitch, that's a strike on the outside corner. That's a quality pitch. Right at the knees, had a little bit of movement. And the 1-1. A big chopper on the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit around third. Sakaza. Here's Steinlein's throw to the plate. It is not in time. Throw to second base is not in time there, and it is 9-0. And we are inching closer to a possible mercy rule ending here, although we're in the top of the 7th inning. But an RBI single for Schmidt, and he takes second on the throw. Take another look at this on the replay. So Schmidt now at second base, and Elias von Garson, who's got a base hit in 3 trips with a run batted in. That was a ball that looked like it hit the edge of the dirt just before the grass in front of home plate. And Van Garsen, a big swing, fouls it back, strike one. And we haven't had rain here in a while, so that means that dirt is hard, and the ball bounced about 30 feet in the air over the pitcher's mound. There's the 0-1. Breaking ball missed inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch to Van Garsen. Ground ball at the middle, into center field, base hit. Around third and being held there, actually, is Schmidt. There's nobody out in the inning, first and third. That is an important run, though. I mean, I think Legionnaire would love to shorten this game. And they need 1 more run to make it 10-0, and then hope that the Disciples will be unable to answer that run in the 7th inning. Remember, the mercy rule takes effect after 7 innings here.
Everything went through the middle in this inning, through the infield.
Well, that's usually a good sign that the hitters are taking the right approach, not trying to do too much. It can be tempting, as this is Janis Mušik up there for his first at-bat. He came into the game for Lucas Jan last half inning. Can be tempting against a guy like Klein to go up there and swing from the shoes, you know, like we saw some of the swings that when position players come in to pitch. We saw Carlos Gomez hit a home run off Willens Astudillo as a 2-0. That's in there for a strike. First and third, they're not holding Van Garsen on at first. The pitch, it's inside, 3 balls and a strike. And the pitch, that's popped foul. Mušik was up there looking for a good pitch to rip on 3-1. He got one, maybe a little bit further down in a way than he would have liked, but now the count is full, 3-2. Well, really, this ball game went off the rails in the 4th inning. There's another bouncer. This one snagged by Klein. His throw to second is in time for 1. The throw to first is high and goes into the dugout. And the run will score, and that also puts Mušik on second base. So Van Garsen is erased. It is 10-0. You can't assume a double play, but there's got to be an error because the throw went into the dugout. So it is indeed an E6 that puts Mušik at second base. He will get an RBI, however, because the double play wasn't turned. That's one of the stupid things about scoring. If the double play had been turned, he doesn't get an error, but because they didn't turn the double play, you can't assume a double play was turned, therefore he can get a run batted in. Silly. Anyway, who cares? Pitch is high. It is 10-0 Regensburg. Matt Vance is the hitter. There's 1 out in the inning. This one tapped backwards, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vance today has walked, doubled to drive home run, grounded out to drive home run, and then he was hit by a pitch his last time. He's up there with Janis Mušik on second base. 1 out in the inning. That pitch is low. 2-1. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Now the count even 2-2. Two and two the count. And the pitch. A high pop-up. This is in the middle of the diamond. Thomas calling for it. Everyone backs away, and he makes the catch there, 2 down. And now Pascal Amon will step up to the plate.
Ein Flyout hier vom Nate. Damit jetzt 2 aus.
Amon today is 1 for 4.
79 Pascal Amon.
There's actually only 1 person in the lineup who does not have a hit, and that is not including Mušik, who just batted for the first time now. For the Legionnaire, that is Mitch Stefan. Mitch Stefan, the only Legionnaire batter to not have a base hit. He is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Pascal Amon right now at the plate, and the first pitch is high, ball 1.
Still is love for Munich Disciples. No hit against the old team.
That makes up for the first game, I guess, where he had about 1 billion hits. Well, his team's winning anyway, so I don't think he cares that much. Pitch is high. 2-0. There are 2 outs in the 7th inning. The Disciples will have 6, 7, and 8 due up in the bottom of the 7th. There's a hot shot pulled foul. The count 2-1. They will have to score a run if they want to extend the game, and I'm not all that sure they want to extend the game. Count 2 balls and a strike on Pascal Amon. And the pitch. Little roller to the right side, and it stays fair for Ziegler, who fields it behind the bag and touches for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Disciples will come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, it's time to stretch, ladies and gentlemen. It is 10-0 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert vom Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we are back. It is the bottom of the 7th inning here in Haar, and Luke Steinlein will go up against the new pitcher, Philip Meyer, whose first pitch is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 10-0 Regensburg. Leading Mike Bolsenbrook was great. He pitched 6 solid innings, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, and nothing else. And Steinlein looks at a strike on the first pitch. Philip Meyer, give you his numbers in just a moment. 1-1, that one is upstairs, 2-1. Philip Meyer has pitched 23 innings. He has an ERA of 3.13, 21 strikeouts, and 22 walks. So again, a similar problem that you see sometimes with younger pitchers. They'll get some swings and misses, but also sometimes a few too many base runners due to the base on balls. When you have same number of walks as innings pitched, that is not generally a good sign, and that pitch was way outside. The count now 3-1 on Steinlein. Well, the Disciples, if they want to extend this game, they have to score a run in this inning. Otherwise, it will end, and we can all go home and go swimming. Pitches outside ball 4. Of course, some of you could be swimming now if you're listening on meinsportradio.de.
Yeah,
I've had people tell me that they did that a couple of years ago when Mainz played Heidenheim in the playoffs. And I was at the field for about 15 hours broadcasting 2 really long games. Afterwards, I got a message on Twitter. Oh, we took the radio with us to the park and to the pool, and it was just great. Thank you. And of course, I'm happy to help.
And that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. It pitches inside to Simon Lechner.
Germany's favorite pastime.
Hey, you know, I have friends that spend hours at the beer garden. Why not do the same thing here. This pitch is low and outside, 2-0, and this is the last thing that Kai Gronauer wants to see. I can tell you for sure Kai Gronauer wants this inning to end without a run scoring. 2-0 the count on Lechner. Inside, that one hit him on the foot. And so, an inauspicious beginning for Philip Meyer. Mentioned the wildness in his numbers, and he has not been close to the strike zone so far to the first hitters. Dennis Wallace will be the hitter. It is 10-0 Regensburg.
Ein Hit by Pitch, damit jetzt Simon am first Base, oder? Am ersten Base oder First Base auch genannt. Und der Move, den Luki auf die Second Base, damit ist
Steinlein at second, Lechner is at first.
Dennis Wallace.
And Dennis Wallace, who struck out twice against Mike Bolsenbrook, comes up with a few ducks on the pond. Philip Meyer, right-hander, works from the first base side of the rubber, and that curveball looked like it slipped out of his hand. Now, I do not see a lot of Regensburg games, but I've definitely seen Philip Meyer pitch very well. He's got an excellent arm. He's got a nice motion, and there's a good delivery in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike, but I've also seen sometimes that little curveball that he flips up there. It almost looks like it slips out of his hand. And that's what happened on that previous pitch, and this one nowhere close, outside, 2-1. It looks like he's aiming the ball, which is a difficult thing. It's when you're on the mound and you're pitching, you can't really aim the ball. You just have to trust your body and your hand that the timing will be right. This one hits Wallace, and the bases are loaded. And don't make your dinner reservations yet. And Kai Gronauer, that's actually Paco Garcia coming out to the mound. There's no activity in the bullpen for the Legionnaire. And I have a feeling this is going to be a very one-sided conversation. It's 10-0, and Philip Meyer has walked and hit 2 batters. And Paco Garcia out there.
Get your act together.
Yeah. Get this together so we can go home. That's what he is saying to his pitcher right now. David Wallace at the plate, trying to throw a little salt in the mix. Well, I mean, we have seen comebacks from 10-0 in the Bundesliga. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It happened this year. It happened last year a couple times. Mainz did it to Mannheim. Mannheim did it.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there,
Mainz
right?
Mannheim game.
That was last year, but there were 2 more. There were 2 games like that this year. Now, so the Disciples have David Wallace at the plate now, who is 0 for 2. And the pitch, there's a strike. The talking to must have worked.
I have my rally headset on.
You have your rally headset on. You've had it on the whole game, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 0-1. That's low, 1-1. Now, the Haar fans certainly looking for something to cheer about. They've only had a few opportunities to make any noise this afternoon. The 1-1, that's outside, 2-1. Still no activity in the bullpen.
That doesn't look good right now for Philip Meyer.
2 balls and a strike. And that one's inside, 3-1. And one more bad one, and you have to cancel your dinner reservations, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll still have baseball. There's the 3-1. That is ball 4. It is 10-1. Well, a very dramatic rally. A walk, 2 hit by pitch, and another walk. And now I believe there is some movement taking place in the Legionnaire dugout. So now the top of the order, Richard Klein. And there is, that's Daniel Mendelsohn going over there to warm up. So Richard Klein, and the pitch gets away from Van Garsen, but no point in even trying to score on a play like that. If you get thrown out at home plate, down by 9 runs. First pitch is a ball. Now Philip Meyer has not been anywhere remotely close to the strike zone. He's thrown a total of 3 strikes. The Disciples have not once swung at a pitch this inning. There's another one in the dirt. This one goes to the backstop, and this will score a run. Everybody moves up, and it is 10-2.
Oh, Philip Meyer's all over the place. I don't think he expected to come in for the 7th inning. Just not ready right now.
Well, you know, you sometimes see that when Aroldis Chapman comes in a safe situation, he pitches great. And when he comes in when it's not a safe situation, he can't throw strikes. That happened the other day against, who was that? That was against the Mets. He did that against the Mets last week. They had to bring in Chase and Shreve to get the last out of the game. Anyway, Richard Klein's still up there with a 2-0 count. That was on the corner, 2-1. So the score is 10-2. And this one is high, and the count, 3-1. The Disciples still have yet to swing the bat once this inning. They've got 2 runs out of it. And the 3-1. That's low ball 4.
They don't swing at anything right now.
And here comes Kai Gronauer, and that will be it for Philip Meyer. That's the 2nd trip. So Philip Meyer does not have a good outing. He faced 5 hitters, walked 3 and hit 2. So his day is done, and Daniel Mendelsohn will come in. Gronauer looks like he's asking him if he's hurt or something out on the mound. He's taking the ball. The pitching change has been made. That's the 2nd trip in the inning, so there's no question that the pitching change is official. And Mendelsohn, after a short discussion, is heading towards the dugout. So we'll take a short break. It is 10-2. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning here in Haar. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. And actually, the break we can take, just reading in the chat group, looks like Heidenheim and Mainz are tied thanks to Mitch Nilsson again hitting another home run. So some other exciting action going on here in the Bundesliga.
Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-9. And we have the Bonn and Doren game went on. They are top of the 9th inning, 2-1 for Bonn.
Well, looking at the standings, I mean, obviously Bonn, there's technically a chance that they could be overtaken, but realistically there's no chance they're going to be overtaken. And if you look at the standings in the South, Heidenheim 24-5. So I mean, basically the way the top 4 round works, it's essentially an extension of the season for the top 4 teams in the North and the South. They just play each other 4 more times each, and then whoever's in 1st and 2nd place at the end of all that goes directly to the semifinal. There is no quarterfinal this year, and so that means currently Haar is in 2nd place, but they're very likely going to be overtaken by Regensburg in this game, or tied at the very least, but then the tie goes to Regensburg anyway because of tiebreaker situations. But it's first of 12 more games, so there's still a lot of baseball to be played. But the Paderborn and Solingen game, Paderborn leading Solingen 12-7 in the 9th inning. Paderborn, a good young team with a plethora of young pitching arms. They have some depth, and they could be dangerous. That's a team that really could be dangerous in the playoffs. We saw that last year. Well, Daniel Mendelson is in a dangerous situation. He inherits a mess, to say the least. Bases loaded. Nate Sean Thomas, and first pitch, that one is in there for a strike. So Bolsenbrook was great, 6 shutout innings, and then Philip Meyer just couldn't find the strike zone, and the Disciples have 2 runs this inning. It is 10-2. Swing and a miss as Thomas way out in front of a breaking pitch. Thomas is over 3 today. Struck out twice and grounded out. This one in the dirt, skips away. And coming home to score is Dennis Wallace. That's the 3rd wild pitch in the inning. Again, the Disciples have not put a single ball in play, and they have 3 runs in the inning. All those runs, of course, charged to Philip Meyer. As David Wallace moves to 3rd, Klein goes to 2nd. Now first base is open. They count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch inside, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. A little tapper back to the mound. It is gloved by Mendelson. He throws to first in time. The runners have to stay put at 2nd and 3rd. That is the first out of the inning. You know, another thing that comes into play in games like this, these 2 teams obviously playing tomorrow, and the Disciples, they're already using their position player as a pitcher, so they're not burning any more arms in the bullpen. Legionnaire have much more depth on the mound, but I suppose from the Disciples' view, if you can keep this game going and force them to use some of those arms out of the bullpen, as Ziegler swings and hits a pop-up foul out of play, then, you know, maybe you get some sort of advantage of it for the next game. That's really looking for some kind of silver lining, but it is a real thing. We see that in the major leagues. There's a swing and a foul to the screen. Obviously, bullpens can get tired when you play games every day. In the Bundesliga, usually it's at the most back-to-back days. Ziegler had a couple of good swings at those pitches from Mendelson. The 0-2. That's taken. 1-2. Ziegler has a hit in 3 hits and 3 trips today. He singled his last time. He had a little blooper in the Bermuda Triangle in right field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here it comes from Mendelson. Outside, 2-2. It's 10-3. The Disciples trying to make Regensburg earn every out of this game. The 2-2. Ziegler hits another comebacker, snagged nicely by Mendelson. He underhands it to first. And again, the runners have to stay put. There are 2 down now. That will bring up Will Thorpe. Thorpe with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Well, hope has not died among the fans here. They're still cheering on their favorite player. Thorpe is, of course, one of the beloved fan favorites here in Haar, as he works regularly with a lot of the youth teams and just all around very personable. Gets along with everyone in the area. The pitch is taken outside, ball 1. Ruben Manriquez is on deck. It's 10-3. And the 1-0. Chopper down the 3rd base line. That's fair, and it kicks away from Mushik. It will score a run. It's a base hit for William Thorpe, and it is 10-4.
It's the first base hit in this half inning.
That's the first ball in play. Well, that's just, no, sorry.
No.
First ball that got past the pitcher. Let's put it that way. So Thorpe gets a run batted in. Klein is now at 3rd. So 4 runs so far charged to the account of Philip Meyer. Now Ruben Manriquez steps up. It's 10-4. Wir sind noch nicht ganz durch.
Die Messe ist noch nicht gelesen.
Trying to figure out a way to say alles hat eine Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. But that doesn't really fit in this situation yet.
Yeah.
Maybe, we'll see. Maybe there's some way to get that in. 1-0, the pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. There are 2 outs in the inning. Manriquez, the 9th man bat in the inning. So depending on your opinion, you could say the Disciples have either batted around or they are about to bat around if he should reach. 1-1 to Ruben. And a throw to first base behind Thorpe, who is not going anywhere. That's, I think, the first throw to first we've had the entire game. There just haven't been situations where it made sense to do running for either team. 1-1 the pitch. That's in the dirt, and that was picked by Van Garsen. It would have been another wild pitch.
It's hard to get the 27th out. Sometimes it's even hard to get the 21st out.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get the first out. And, well, a little bit of life here in the ballpark. The 2-1. That's low, 3-1. Luke Steinlein is on deck. He started everything by walking.
Geht's zu Ruben?
So at which score do you think you have to think about another new pitcher for the Haar Disciples?
I think the decision has already been made. That was a big swing and a miss by Manriquez, full count. He was going for the downs on that. Well, the Disciples basically were already giving up by bringing in, well, not giving up, but they just don't have anybody else they can bring in, and they didn't want to use Thomas, who hasn't pitched all that well this year. Anyway, line drive, and it was deflected by the pitcher to the second baseman, Sakaza, who throws to first base. I think that ball hit the glove of Daniel Mendelson, and it looked like it was going to be a base hit into center field, and instead it is the end of the inning, and the Disciples will have to settle for 3 runs on a grand total of 1 hit. Excuse me, they got 4 runs. 4 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and there were 2 left on base. So we go to the 8th inning. It is 10-4 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. To the top of the 8th inning, it is 10-4 Regensburg. Richard Klein back out on the mound. This is his 4th inning of work. And he will face Eric Harms, Mitch Stefan, and David Grimes. That pitch bounces, ball 1. Klein came on in the 5th inning, gave up 1 run in that inning, had a scoreless 6th, and then he gave up 3 runs last inning. And the pitch is low, 2-0. I think, didn't we see earlier this year, Andreas, that a major league team brought in a position player to pitch with a lead? There's a swing and a tapper foul. I know we had some long extra innings games. There was a Marlins game. I think it was Marlins and Dodgers. Was that? Or no, it was Phillies and Dodgers last week. And the Dodgers, who was it that was pitching? Kike Hernandez came in to pitch the bottom of the 17th inning. And then he gave up a walk-off 3-run home run. Pitches outside. 3 balls and a strike on Eric Harms. Rich Hill, I think, had warmed up in the game. That's ball 4.
Bullpen management is one of the great mysteries of ball clubs, of major league ball clubs. I think the Dodgers had a stretch of 20 games in 21 days, and if you have such a game in between the 16th of 17th inning,
it ruins all your plans.
That ruins every plan. Did you hear that they want to discuss the extra inning rules for the minor league? So they
make it like the European Champions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're already doing it in low A. The first pitch is a breaking ball to Mitch Stefan. Stefan is the only person in the Legionnaire lineup without a hit, and I'm sure he knows that. So you know he wants to get a base hit now. He struck out against Richard Klein his last time. Time is called. Yeah, pitching planning is a difficult thing in the major leagues. It's not so difficult in the Bundesliga just because most teams only have a couple pitchers. 0-1. That's a strike. 0-2. Boy, poor Mitch Stefan. He's just been 0-2. He struck out on 3 pitches his last at bat. And now he's 0-2 again. You know if he strikes out a second time against Richard Klein, he will never hear the end of that, both from Richie and the rest of his team. And he just got a piece. That was that pitch down and in. Klein using the back foot breaking ball.
Klein is smiling. I think this is fun for him, being on the mound. He will feel his arm tomorrow.
Well, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, he's not throwing particularly hard, so his arm, I mean, yes, you'll feel it, but it's not going to be as if he's, you know, letting it go at 100 every time, and then the entire body will be in pain. This is a long meeting on the mound with Will Thorpe. Meanwhile, Patrick Meister and Mitch Stefan are...
By the way, as we're talking about pitching, how's Ryan Bollinger doing in the minor leagues?
I hadn't looked in a while. I know that he's still with...
I will take a look.
Charleston, I believe. Is it Charleston or is it Scranton? Scranton. I think that he had one bad start fairly recently. But, you know, he's pitching okay. His numbers are not popping out at you like they did, you know, here. 0-2 still on Mitch Stefan. The pitch, that one's in the dirt. This one kicks away, and that's going to go to the screen. Taking second base, Eric Harms. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Right now he's at Trenton.
Trenton, right, not Scranton. Scranton is the old Yankees affiliate.
He has a 4.86 ERA right now.
How many strikeouts and walks?
I will take a look.
One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss on the pitch in the dirt, blocked by Thorpe. And he throws to first, and Mitch Stefan has struck out again. That is the 4th strikeout in 5 at-bats for Mitch Stefan. 2nd time against Richard Klein. And so Stefan not having a great day, although everyone else around him is, as David Grimes steps up to the plate with 1 out.
61 strikeouts in 68 innings. 66 innings
for Bollinger,
in Trenton.
How many walks?
Just take a look. 24. I think that's okay.
Curveball to David Grimes, hits the outside corner, 0-1. Yeah, it's pretty good. 4.86 ERA. A lot of times, I mean, nowadays front offices, they they don't look just at ERA. They look at walks and strikeouts. They look at swing and miss data. There's a pitch in the dirt, backhanded, or at least stopped by Thorpe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Richie Klein, by the way, now at almost 70 pitches. So he will not be pitching tomorrow. Steinlein threw 85. I doubt he would pitch tomorrow too, but you never know. Steinlein, if you ask him, he'll say he could pitch every day, and you never know. He might also show up tomorrow in the game. That game will be broadcast by Legionnaire TV. 2 balls and a strike as the pitch is high. David Grimes, by the way, has grounded out, walked twice, and singled to drive home a run. He's also scored 3 of them himself. And that one is low, 3-1. Eric Harms is on second base. There's 1 out in the inning. And that one catches the corner, 3-2. Klein looked like he went a little sidearm on that. And the next one just missed inside. Klein wanted the call. And it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning. And that brings up Nino Sakaza and Chris Howard out to the mound. And I think we might see a pitching change. I cannot see into the Disciples bullpen, but Titus von Kopf is around. No, he's going to leave Richie out there. Oh. The Disciples have Jan Tomek. Kevin Triesel's name is on the list, but I have not seen him, so I don't think he's there. And Bernd Radovic and Tomek, that is it. The Disciples have exactly 1 position player that they could put into the game, and 2 pitchers, one of whom is tomorrow's starting pitcher. So Richard Klein will stay in the game. I mean, they're playing without a designated hitter. Nino Sakaza, 3 for 4. He's had a great day. Looking for his 4th hit. He's got 2 singles and a double. And this ball grounded to the hole. That's another base hit for Sakaza. Around third being waved home is Harms. Here's the throw. It's cut off, and that's a run-scoring 4th hit of the game for Nino Sakaza. As Harms comes in, and it is now 11-4. Stopping at second base was David Grimes. Take another look. Nino Sakaza having a 4-hit day. Ground ball. Pulled between first and second. No chance. Good base running by David Grimes to avoid that batted ball on the first pitch. That one is outside to Alex Schmidt, excuse me. Schmidt has a base hit, a walk. He's also got 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. 2 for 3. Excuse me, 1 for 3. That's outside, 2-0. (11-4). Now the wind picks up. I hope there aren't dark clouds behind me. The pitch, this one up over the head of Schmidt, 3-0. And Klein visibly getting tired. I mean, this is what happens when you start to tire, especially if you haven't pitched a whole lot. He's nearing 80 pitches. That is really a lot for someone to come in who's not throwing regular bullpens.
Oh.
You want to make sure he doesn't hurt himself. The pitch is outside for ball 4. 2 on for Elias von Garson. I imagine it's probably not going to be too much longer before the Disciples will have to put in Titus von Kopf, just because you got to keep in mind that Richard Klein is your starting second baseman, and if he injures his arm, that doesn't help anyone. Elias von Garson has 2 hits today. That's high, ball 1. Got to give Richie credit, though. He has battled. He's made a couple of really good pitches. And you know what his takeaway from the game is going to be, striking out his friend Mitch Stefan twice. The pitch inside 2-0. Sometimes a game like this, you got to focus on those little victories. Mike Bolsenbrook had a great day. A typical day, really. There's 2-0. That's a strike, 2-1. Klein dropping down sidearm.
He would love to get a double play right now.
Well, Manriquez, the third baseman, is at the edge of the grass. Haven't been a lot of balls in play the last couple of innings. There's been a lot of walking. 3-1, here it comes. Fouled away, 3-2. That was a good pitch to hit from Van Garson.
Yep.
He took a good rip. Full count. Runners leading from all bases. There's a little blooper down the right field side. That is foul. Grimes is at third. Sakaza at second. Schmidt at first. Full count. And the pitch. That hits him. That'll drive home a run. It is now 12-4. So Van Garson gets a run batted in. More like a run hit in. And so now Janis Mušik for his second chance. Mušik had one at bat previously and hit a ground ball. Reached on a fielder's choice, pitches high. So it's 12-4. Once again, the Legionnaire trying to extend it to a 10-run lead. That pitch is high. 2 balls and no strikes. And the next one. That one lined, and that's a base hit past Manriquez down the third base line. This will score 2 for sure as Lechner gets the ball back in, and it's a 2-run double. Smacked very hard for Janis Mušik, and the Legionnaire get what they wanted. They now have a 10-run lead again. It is 14-4. So that scored Sakaza and Schmidt, and Van Garson went all the way to third base on the play. That'll bring up Matt Vance. And Klein's pitch is inside, ball 1. Matt Vance today has batted in almost every inning. Only innings that he didn't bat were the second and the fifth. He walked in the first, he doubled in the third, grounded out in the fourth, was hit by a pitch, and now he hits a fly ball to right field, coming on Wallace, and it drops in. That's a base hit. Van Garson will score. That makes it 15 runs for the Legionnaire. Moving to third on the play, Janis Mušik. Now Vance, that was his 6th plate appearance. This is the 6th time through the lineup, and we're only in the 8th inning. And Pascal Amon steps up to the plate, first and third. There are how many outs in this inning? There's nobody out in this inning. 1 out. There's 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's high, right, because Stefan struck out. That's the only out in the inning. He might get a chance to bat again in this inning.
Desperately wants to do that, I think.
That pitch is low. 1-1 on Amon. Amon, the 9th man to bat in the inning. And the next one, that's in the dirt. 2-1. Ball 3. Amon, rightfully so, swinging very hard on 3-1 pitch. And he swung right through it. That's what you're supposed to do on that pitch. 3-2 now the count, first and third. 1 out. And strike 3 is called in the outside corner. Amon with a little smirk, will turn and go back to the dugout. And now the 10th man to bat, the guy who started it all, Eric Harms, he walked and scored earlier in this inning. He's up there with first and third. And he hits a drive to center field. Steinlein to his left makes the catch in the alleyway, and the inning mercifully comes to an end. And speaking of mercy, mercy rule is back in effect. It's an 11-run lead for the Legionnaire. They lead 15-4. We'll be back for the bottom of the 8th inning. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, presented von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Willkommen zurück zum Ballpark Egelving in Haar. Tim Collins mit Andreas Thies. Wir werden jetzt das Unterhälfte des 8. Innings auf Deutsch machen. Und Andreas, take it away, my friend.
Erster Pitch ist ein Ball.
Luke Steinlein jetzt am Schlag. Where are we? Here we are.
Und der Pitcher?
Daniel Mendelssohn. Immer noch.
Daniel Mendelssohn. Der wirft den Strike. Ein Ball, ein Strike. Luke Steinlein, der an der Platte steht.
Steinlein bis jetzt hat einen Walk und 2 Groundouts.
Der Ball oder der Pitch war zu tief. 2 Balls, ein Strike. Mendelssohn ist letztes Inning reingekommen, nachdem Philipp Meyer dort keine Strikes werfen konnte. Tatsächlich 2 Hit-by-Pitches, hatte mehrere Walks und 3 Runs kassiert hatte schon. Und dann hat er 3 Runs inherit. Sehr, sehr tiefer Flyball. Der geht aber in Centerfield und dort das einfache Play und damit einer aus. 2 aus noch, bevor die Mercy Rule hier einsetzt für die Regensburg Legionäre und ein bisschen auch für die Zuschauer. Also sie wirken alle etwas müde jetzt gerade. Das Spiel hat die letzten 2, 3 Innings etwas Geduld gefordert.
Ja, aber auch bei so einen schönen Tagen in der Sonne zu sitzen mit Essen und Getränke, ist es auch nicht so schlimm, oder? Simon Lechner jetzt am Schlag.
Simon Lechner kassiert den ersten Strike. 0 Balls, 1 Strike. Mendelssohn macht jetzt tatsächlich auch einen besseren Eindruck als eben noch in dem Inning, wo er dann ja 3 Inherited Runners übernommen hat.
Ja, der kann jetzt mit Full Windup pitchen. Der müsste von Stretch letztes Inning, weil es Base Runners überall gab.
Ein Ball, ein Strike. Ach, der war schön. Mitte Zone, 2 Strikes, 1 Ball, 2 Strikes. Deutlich komfortablere Position für Mendelssohn. Wurde sehr, sehr schnell. Time gerufen.
Ja, das ist manchmal gefährlich bei 2 Strikes sowas zu machen, weil der Schiedsrichter muss das, der darf es nicht geben, wann er nicht geben will.
Foul Ball. Es bleibt bei einem Ball und 2 Strikes. Curveball, ein schöner Hit. Und der geht am Second Baseman vorbei. Und damit der Hit für Simon Lechner. Er steht dann an der First Base.
Schöner Hit hier vom Simon, da hat er den Ball gut getroffen. Damit ist er jetzt am ersten Base und nimmt den Schlagmann mit der Nummer.
Das ist der 7. Hit der Disciples.
Simon Lechner wurde an der First Base dann mit Stefan nochmal empfangen. Die Stimmung ist dann jetzt auch gelöst unter den Spielern im Moment. Dafür ist das Ergebnis einfach im Moment viel zu klar, 15:4. Aber 2 Runs von den Haar Disciples und wir hängen noch ein Inning dran.
Erster Pitch für Dennis Wallace. Darüber freust du dich, oder? Je mehr Baseball, desto besser.
Ich werde heute Abend noch schön Royals gegen Yankees gucken. Das wird auch toll.
Ja, aber ohne Aaron Judge ist es ein bisschen weniger toll. Check Swing.
Check Swing, ein Ball, aber er hat nicht durchgeschwungen. Ein Ball, ein Strike. Selbst Giancarlo Stanton ist im Moment so ein bisschen banked up.
Auch.
Ja.
Er hat 4 Hits gegen Tampa Bay letzte Woche gehabt.
Die Offensive hat aber trotzdem im Moment ein wenig Probleme bei den New York Yankees. 2 Balls, ein Strike, während wir hier so nett über die New York Yankees quatschen.
Ja, du bist ein Red Sox-Fan, ich weiß.
Red Sox hatten letzte Nacht ein sehr spektakuläres Spiel.
Hab ich nicht gesehen. Ich hab's nicht gesehen.
3. Ball, ein Strike. Ich habe es heute Morgen nachgeschaut. Mookie Betts mit dem Walk-Off-Home Run. Seinem ersten in seiner Karriere. Erster Walk-Off-Home Run.
Ist sicher nicht der letzte, wahrscheinlich.
Wird wahrscheinlich nicht der letzte bleiben. Nein. 3 Balls, ein Strike. Und der geht als Strike rein und damit 3 Balls, 2 Strikes, Full Count für Mendelssohn. Und wer steht am Schlag?
Dennis Wallace.
Dennis Wallace am Schlag. Pitch kommt und er geht außen. Inside geht er und damit ein Walk. Dann für Dennis Wallace die erste und die zweite Base besetzt. Für die Haar Disciples. Ein Out haben die Regensburg Legionäre. 2 brauchen sie noch. Wenn es bei diesem Spielstand bliebe, wäre das Spiel nach dem 8. Inning beendet wegen der Mercy Rule beim 15:4.
Aber in den letzten 2 Innings, seit Mike Bolsenbrook raus aus dem Spiel gekommen ist, haben die Disciples 4 Walks, 2 Hit-Batters bekommen.
Und Mike Bolsenbrook denkt sich auch, Mensch, wir könnten schon zu Hause sein.
Ja, und wann nicht zu viel Verkehr ist. Auf die Straßen, ja.
Erster Pitch, ein Strike.
David Wallace jetzt am Schlag. Dennis am ersten Base. Lechner am zweiten Base. Ein Aus.
Schöner Hit durch die Mitte zwischen Second Baseman und Shortstop durch. Und dann wird er durchgewunken. Nein, er wird zurückgehalten. Und damit sind alle Bases besetzt. Hit dann für David Wallace. Und damit sind die Bases loaded. Einer aus. Und wir haben schon wieder eine sehr kritische Situation. Nachdem vorhin wir noch gesagt haben, Mensch, Daniel Mendelssohn, das sieht deutlich souveräner aus, hat er sich jetzt wieder schön in die Patsche geritten.
Ja, die versuchen die Tour immer ein bisschen offen zu lassen für die Haar Disciples. Und jetzt Richard Klein. Mit Bases loaded, ein Aus. Ein Double Play würde dieses Spiel zu Ende bringen.
Ich kann einen Line Drive ins Left Field schon vorhersagen. Erster Pitch von Daniel Mendelssohn. So Richard Klein geht in den Staub bzw. in den Dreck. Damit ein Ball, 0 Strikes.
Das zeigt auch, wie wichtig ein starker Pitcher ist. Mike Bolsenbrook hat überhaupt nichts zugelassen und Chaos.
Da hat er sich selber getroffen mit dem Schlag. Richard Klein.
Ja, Foul Ball, Strike Nummer 1. Bolsenbrook just breezed through the first 6 innings. Und die letzten 2 Innings sind ziemlich genauso lang als die ersten 6 waren.
Bases loaded, Richie, Anschlag. Auf geht's für Richie, da ist noch alles drin hier.
Da ist noch alles drin, sagt der Stadionsprecher.
Das ist der Daniel Wolf, ein Jugendspieler für die Haar Disciples.
15:4 für die Regensburg Legionäre hier am ersten Spieltag der Zwischenrunde in der Baseball-Bundesliga. Schöner Hit an die rechte Seite, aber der geht als Foulball. Wenn der reingegangen wäre, das wären 2 Runs mindestens gewesen.
Das wäre 2 Runs bestimmt, ja.
Ein Ball, 2 Strikes, ein Out für die Regensburg Legionäre für Daniel Mendelssohn. Chopper für Wallace bzw. für Klein, aber der Ball, nein, da wird er ausgegeben an der Homeplate.
Das ist ein Force Play dort. Das ist so, das war wirklich die einzige Chance von Muschig, überhaupt eine auszubekommen.
Können wir dann nochmal das Replay sehen? Weil das sah sehr, sehr eng aus da an der Homeplate.
Ich glaube, wir sehen nur Staub an der Replay. Aber wir schauen es trotzdem an. Das war ein super Play von Janis Muschig.
Oh, das wäre... Oh, ich habe den drin gesehen, aber... Zweites Aus auf jeden Fall. Jetzt kommt Nathan Thomas an die Platte und ist eventuell das letzte Aus hier für die Regensburg Legionäre. Swing and a Strike für Nathan Thomas. 0 Balls, 1 Strike. 2 Out für Daniel Mendelssohn. Der so ein bisschen Glück hatte jetzt mit dem zweiten Aus. Und jetzt Line Drive Richtung First Base mit Stefan, holt sich das dritte Aus und damit haben wir das Spiel beendet. 15:4 gewinnen die Regensburg Legionäre bei den Haar Disciples.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Andreas, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And don't forget, folks, tune in tomorrow. Legionnaire TV will be covering that game for you. That game, I believe it starts at 2 p.m. And it will be Jan Tomek pitching for the Disciples, I guess, against Bill Greenfield for the Legionnaire, but we don't know. So the Legionnaire take the first of the top 4 round by a score of 15-4. What a day by Nino Sakaza, 4 hits and 5 at bats. Also, Lucas Jan had 3 hits. Let's hope his finger is okay. And 2 hits for Elias von Garson, a hit for Alex Schmidt, a hit for Eric Harms, a hit for Pascal Amon, 2 hits for Matt Vance, plus he scored 3 runs. He drove in 3 runs, rather. So, an all-around offensive attack for the Buchbinder Legionnaire. And, as usual, Mr. Bolsenbrook doing what he does on the mound, 6 shutout innings. And that is it for us. My name is Tim Collins. Andreas, thank you very much for joining me. And we will be talking on Tuesday, probably, Tuesday or Wednesday. Yep. So look for the Bundesliga Baseball podcast on meinsportradio.de. Deutschsprachige. And yes, you can also listen to, I'll be calling the Yankees and Royals tomorrow with Günther Zapf on DAZN, which, by the way, I got to say, DAZN, they now have a live stream from MLB Network.
Yep.
And it is awesome. I basically watch every day. I'm just getting up in the morning and putting it on, and oh, it's just so great to finally be able to get MLB Network. So that's my little plug for DAZN. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you for taking part in the chat, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, wherever you may be. That's it for us. Final score once again, Regensburg 15, Haar Disciples 4.